Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Talking Tradesman. I'm very happy to say in the studio with me today I have James O'Keefe. James, thank you, mate, for giving up your time and coming and sitting down with me today. James is an advocate for mental health, also men's wellness, has his own company putting on men's retreats and all that kind of good stuff. And we're going to talk a little bit about James, why he got into doing what he's doing and why it's so important that we look after our wellness.
Mate, thank you. That's an incredible intro. And yeah, it's, mate, what a place.
Thank you, mate.
I mean, you've absolutely, I'm blown away. It is incredible, you know, so what you've done here and what you're doing is incredible. So thank you.
I really appreciate that, mate.
No.
And the same to you. I've followed you on socials for a while,
Bless
so I've
you,
seen
man.
all the incredible work that you're doing out there trying to help other people, other men. And we agree on a lot of things that you talk about, so we're going to get into that.
Well, hopefully we can find some things we don't agree on, because I think that is where...
We can try.
You know what I mean? But I think that sometimes is where really good things happen. Because, you know, I think sometimes, again, I'll go straight into... I think we find our tribe and we stay in that.
Yeah.
And what I try and do at Unguarded Warrior, which is often quite unpopular, because... we want, as a human being, we want our egos nursed. We want to be placated. We want to be, oh no, it's okay. And we want to feel safe. We're always trying to keep ourselves safe. So sometimes we search that safety. ChatGPT, you know, it'll keep us safe because it'll tell us what we want to hear. Unguarded Warrior, and what I do, does not do that. I'm about looking inside, about taking ownership, accountability, asking ourselves the very difficult question, you know, why am I doing this? Or conversely, why am I not doing this? And everything around that is what I'm trying to bring to the world. Unfortunately, it's not the most popular thing because we don't like looking inside sometimes. So it's a tricky one because we have to do that self-searching and that soul-searching and that, you know, scratching the surface. Yeah. And often we don't like it.
I think the retreats you do, mate, I mean, first of all, they look incredible, and I am going to come on one.
Thank you, mate.
I am definitely going to.
You'll be my guest as well.
It's on record now. It's on record.
Hold on, no, it has to be. No, hold on, no, we have to put a time scale on it. Yeah, you'll be like 98 years old.
In the next decade, I will definitely. No, mate, I want to. I do want to. I've seen what you do. I think they look amazing, mate. But I think you've hit on something there where some retreats are a little bit more. It's almost like got that spa feel to it, whereas going on yours, as you say, you've got to be prepared and want to do the work, that inner work on yourself. And what you said there, touching on the accountability and taking that accountability and doing that inner work rather than focusing on the victim mindset of why everything else is causing your issues, actually looking at yourself and your reactions. That's the difficult work, isn't it? That's the uncomfortable stuff. And it's going to be harder to get people to commit to doing that because it's not all sunshine and roses, is it?
Yeah. So, first of all, that's my dog down there, by the way, Zane.
Yeah, we have a special guest.
Yeah.
A special guest.
I know, if you can see a dog just doing things. So he comes everywhere with me, and he's found that as a fun thing. But yeah, the difficult work. I'm gonna put it out there that it's actually not the difficult work. Maybe first off, we could argue that, but it's that thing of short-term pain, long-term gain. Short-term gain, long-term pain. That's where I believe like everything stems from. If we're not prepared to go through a little bit...
He's all right, mate, he's fine.
If we're not prepared to go through a little bit of hardship initially, then we won't get the rewards at the end of the, you know, at the end of the rainbow or whatever that is. We'll always, our brains and our bodies will always try and take the easy option because that's what we want to exist as a human being. We will try and take that easy option because it's the easiest for the brain, for the body. That's where we want to go, and for the ego as well. But yeah, my retreats, Unguarded Warrior, they are about. There is some good stuff, you know. There is some, like, it's not all just like it's not. You know, even though I was a former professional MMA fighter, I'm not into just beasting people, beasting ourselves, because it's another form of self-hate, I think. The way I used to train, the way I used to treat myself was another form of self-hate.
Yeah.
It was just masked in whatever I told myself. It doesn't matter what you tell yourself. You have, again, look inward. Why am I doing that thing? Is it nourishing me or is it hurting me, short term or long term? And if everything I did really on a subconscious level was hurting me, the way I used to do everything. So that's what I try and think about now, is all of these things, especially over that weekend, is going to take me on a journey from here to here. And it's almost like an initiation, that we never had when we were young. There's so many men from 20 upwards to 60 that we've had on the retreats. They've never had a father show them the way to be, or a father figure show them a good way to be a man. And I think we're massively missing that in society. I really do. And that's what we try and do, is give a view of that over a weekend, let go of some stuff, find some new positive ways to think, and then take that into the world, or the quote unquote real world.
Yeah, it's fascinating, mate. It's a really good insight. You're right. The whole father figure thing is so important. I think it's getting even more difficult these days because masculinity is being thrown under the spotlight, what it means to be a man, how to be a man, how you should parent your kids. We're all being told this now. And that, again, is going to lead to a lot of people that are lost.
I think there's a society of lost boys. I think there always has been, but I think more than ever there is, because look, it's no different than when I was, and I'm 49 years old, so I'm a born in.
You look incredible for 49. You look 5-10 years younger than me. So
how old are you?
41.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're still looking good for 41. You got have you got kids?
Yeah.
See, that's what I think, because I haven't got kids, so I haven't got grey hair.
Yeah.
And I don't dye my hair, so stop it. Anyway. But yeah, I think because I haven't got kids, I'm not grey. I genuinely, like, the grey is in my beard, so it's weird, and your grey isn't in your beard.
It is, because I dye it, mate.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Do you know what? Up until we had this conversation with my listeners, up until about 2 months ago, I had my hair dyed anyway, because I started going grey at 18.
Really?
Yeah, really young.
Way.
And my wife's a hairdresser, so it was one of those that one day she was like, "Let me just dye your hair," and I was like, "Geez, you've took 10 years off me." And it's only probably about 2 months ago where I've gone, "Do you know what? I'm done with that."
I like
now.
it. I think it looks good.
I mean, embracing the salt and pepper and the rest of it. But yeah, I don't know. That's probably in my own head where I'm thinking, right, I'm over 40 now. I'm allowed to be grey. So
look, we're this, with the whole masculinity thing and the male thing, and the I can't talk on what women go through, because I'm not a woman. I'm obviously around a lot of women and married, and my mum brought me up. Basically single parent. So I didn't have that role model. Oh, I did, but unfortunately I had two. My dad was an alcoholic, drank himself to death when I was 16. And my brother was a football hooligan, a real geezer, so he had his own issues, bless him. He was like struggling himself. He didn't know what he was doing himself, didn't have a father figure. So then my father figure was my brother. So at 14, I was a football hooligan, drinking, smoking, womanizing, all of that. That was my young kind of like, 16, working on a building site, England, like a flipping England tattoo on my shoulder.
What did you have, the flag or the bulldog?
Oh no, mate, I've got a bulldog. Doing
we got knew it was one of the two.
Doing keepy uppies. Do you know what? For a laugh, maybe we'll put it on there. You can flash it up on screen how bad it is.
Yeah, it's still there,
mate.
Haven't had it covered.
It's not covered. I've got this one. I've got one on my front. I've had it lasered a bit, so it's not as noticeable, and people struggle to see it. But literally, it's terrible. It's an England flag, a bulldog doing a keepy uppies with an England top on. I mean, so
that's prime.
That's
prime
it was £10 in someone's kitchen when I was 16.
Yeah, I love it.
Was so bad. Anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that, but it was so. I was talking about masculinity and father figures, and I think again my figures that I looked up to were gangsters. I genuinely wanted to be a gangster when I was young, because we were poor. I was from a council estate. And I felt unsafe because I was scared, because I was I was fearful of everything, because I was, didn't have anything. And, so my way to prove myself was be the hardest kid in my year, than fight all the time. And all I used to say to people was, I want to be a gangster when I'm older. And we'll talk more about what exactly happened with that, as we get in.
I was going to do that anyway, James. I wanted to sort of explain to the listeners what you do, but we've kind of naturally, I think, gone to your journey. So let's go through that. I can resonate with a lot of what you said there. I was the same, mate. My dad was a drinker. Mum and dad split up when I was young. I was raised by my dad. I stayed with him.
What age?
8.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. My mum and dad split up.
The strange thing in my situation, or what seems stranger than most, is that my mum left the house. So my mum left.
That way. Interesting.
And
wow.
she had an affair, went off with another man. Didn't exit my life, but was absent for a while. And I was old enough to understand where wrong had been done. So I felt, at 8 years old, I needed to protect my dad. My dad was a drinker anyway. So obviously going through a divorce went deep into that. And I ended up being raised, living with my father through till the age of 17.
So basically trying to look after your dad, feeling that you had to do that and, living that kind of life. I get it. I had a similar thing, but my dad lived away from us. So, but he was very, he never got over my mum and him.
Yeah.
My mum had to leave because of the mental anguish that he put her through. He was a manipulative mind, and he was, when you drink, and I'm sorry to any drinkers, like heavy drinkers out there, reality is skewed. It's whatever, there's stuff going on in your brain because the neural pathways are getting shut down in your brain. Okay. My dad's brain was there wasn't the oxygen and the blood going to the brain. That's what happens when you drink. You can look it up, science, So my dad was atrophying his brain. So it was basically calcifying, getting drier and drier and drier. And that causes mental problems. And this is where a lot of the mental health crisis we're going through I believe in this world is drink.
I want to take a moment to thank our headline sponsors, Zinza. And if you're a professional painter and decorator, you know just what it takes to create work that you're proud of. And for over 170 years, Zinza has been there to make that possible. Zinza pride themselves on being the painter's paint, developing the paints and primers that pros rely on to do their best work on every job. That's why Zinza is the mark of a pro. Make sure you check out their new YouTube short film on the Zinza YouTube channel, featuring 3 independent journeys and showing their story on how they became a modern pro. Thanks again to Zinza for supporting the Talking Tradesman podcast and helping us spread the message and raise awareness around mental health in construction and beyond. Let's get back to the episode. Yeah.
And it's not talked about, and it's kind of like, because it's legal and it's just having a good time and I love a beer and all of that, it doesn't really get the talk that it deserves.
Do you drink, James, or are you?
So I used to be a massive drink and drug, massive. And so now I chose, I'm not recovering anything. Okay. I'm not this, I'm not that. I just choose not to do drugs, and I choose very, very, very occasionally to have a glass of natural wine, but it is like maybe once a month. And the reason I do that is because I manage that, not the other way round. And notice I don't use the word control. I don't like the word control, because I feel like it puts us in a box, and any little moment out of that box, we're out of control, or we're off the wagon, or we're this, or we're that. And I'm not that. I'm managing everything in my life, my breath, my emotions, my finance, I manage it, not the other way around. So that's the language I use to myself, the clients I work, all of that good stuff.
It's really important.
Language, first of all, the thoughts we think, then the language you talk sets absolute. Well, first of all, it makes our cells up, makes our energy, it makes everything about us come across in a certain way. If the language we're using inside, even we think we're being a certain way outside, we're not. We're just trying to kid ourselves. And you can only kid yourself for so long.
It's interesting, actually. A couple of guests ago, the episode isn't out yet. I sat down with a chap called Lee Evans, who he's gone through a severe addiction, and he says, like, the same with his language. He says he's not an addict. He's gone through a situation, come out the other side of it, but he won't label himself as an addict. Because I know, like the 12-step programs and things like that, it's a case of sitting down and introducing yourself as an alcoholic.
I'm an alcoholic. Yeah, but I'm drunk for 7 years. I don't get that. I believe we are all addicts of something. Like, I'm addicted to looking after myself. I couldn't live without looking after myself. So I'm addicted to it, you know? So I'm okay with that. But it's where we put our addictions and why. Yeah. Like, when I was fighting, for instance, I was doing it from the wrong place. You know, I was, as I said, a professional MMA fighter. I was doing it from ego, not from anything else. It was actually to prove myself to whoever, to the world or whatever. But I was telling myself a different story. And we're really good at that as humans. We're really good at telling ourselves a different story or trying to kid, you know, but you can't kid a kid, right? I mean, I've fucking told so much bullshit in my life. When I was young, man, I'd work an angle anyway. I was the king bullshitter. I would work that angle more than you could ever believe, you know, whether it was chirping a woman or getting this deal or doing that or, oh, mate, I would work that to my advantage every time. And so but we do it to ourselves as well. We try and tell, you know, oh no, it's okay. Like when I was drug dealing, for instance, when I was young, it's okay, I've got nothing. So I'm not doing, you know what I mean? We'll tell ourselves whatever we want to hear. But again, if we're getting that, and this is where we're going really wrong, is we're getting external validation for it. So if I'm a business owner or a CEO or someone that I work with as well, and I'm telling myself this whatever untruth that we know, but I'm then not being the person I want to be at work or whatever, or the business I'm doing isn't really doing the world any good, but I'm telling myself, oh, it's okay, I'm providing for my family, I'm doing this, I'm doing good for them, oh no, I'm doing charity work, I'm doing this, really deep down. And I think that's where we go wrong as men, particularly as men. We're not living in alignment with our true values, if that makes sense.
It does, mate. And it's something that I've spoken about previously. I think there's a few things that are key and vital in our lives, a man's life, a person's life. One of them being purpose and knowing, not being told your purpose, knowing your own purpose. Because I think through life, from such an early age, we're institutionalized, conditioned, and we are told and given our values. We're told and given what's in. I will tell you, James, what's important to you.
Yeah.
And then we hit the crisis point where we work out that actually, you know, I've ticked all the boxes. I've done all the things society and the world has told me will make me happy.
Yeah.
And it hasn't.
Yeah.
So there must be something wrong with me. I must be broken.
Yeah.
But having the insight to actually work out your values and your true purpose in life, that to me is key. I think once you establish that, it can't really be taken away from you.
Agree. Totally agree. The mechanism, though, for working on our values is just checking that he wasn't walking across the scene.
About to pull everything
He's so
over.
Clever with that because he knows. He's like he's a good boy because he's used to being around stuff.
He's lifting his legs well.
But so I do agree. So values are a very interesting thing because they do change. And when we really, so I do this work as well with my coaching and when what we do sometimes on the retreat. So we get. So this is a really great exercise for anyone out there, because I want to be able to today as well give practical things people can do rather than me just waffling on and everyone go whatever, agree or don't agree. Let me actually give some practical stuff over as well, right? That people can take away. One of them is you can go on the internet and find a list of 200 values. Okay, really simple thing to do. What you want to do is get them 200 values, print them out, and then sit with them. Work out 24 of your values on there, first off, right? So do 24, circle them.
I mean, just to break it right down, James, because there might be people sat thinking, well, what is a value? So what sort of thing are we talking about?
Okay, honesty, determination, love, kindness, something that, you know, is intrinsic to how we think. That's a value. could be, punctuality. It's something like that we value of our behavior. So if we value something in our behavior, that is a value. So you get the 200, you break it down to 24, circle 24. Then you look at them 24 and you get them down to 16. Then you take them 16 and you make them 8. Then you get them 8 and you make them 4. And they are your true, as close as you know, your values. And the way to really look at them is to ask yourself the question. If I say honesty is my value, right? We sit here and let's say you say it to me, Russ. You say honesty is my value. And I go, okay, Russ, when your wife asks you if your bum looks big in this, what do you say to her?
Well, these days, mate, you say yes.
Right. Yeah. So years ago, if I then lie, then honesty isn't my true value. It's something that I can come in and out of. And it doesn't make me a bad person. It just means that I'm floaty with that when I need it to be. So then I can start really exploring myself. And that's when you do the inner work. And that's the inner work of exploring myself and going, actually, in a situation, or if one of my mates says something to me, do I go along with it or do I call them out and say, actually, that's not how I want to be? So honesty is being that as well. That for me is our values. So those 5 or 4 or whatever you want to do. But here's the thing with values, they change. So as you get older, I am an incredibly different person than I was a year ago, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I was a fucking moron in my 20s and 30s, really, and teens. And I still am a bit of a moron sometimes, and that's okay, because we're all that. I'm a human being. I'm a man. I'm a human being. I still mess up. I'm not this Zen guru who's got everything worked out. I still mess up. I still say the wrong thing. I still can react rather than respond sometimes. But getting clear on them values and then being okay that we can change and mold them is so powerful.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think it almost gives you, it's like a roadmap for your life. Once you work out your values, you know how you need to work and live and move.
And you can then go, okay, so here are my values. You've got your values, and then you can look at your life and go, okay, so let me write my 4 values here, and then let me look at my life here. Okay, my 4 values are honesty, this, that, whatever, yeah? And if I then, my job is then something that doesn't align with honesty, like I'm a I don't know what it is. I'm a car salesman, but I'm selling dodgy cars, you know what I mean? And I'm turning, well, clearly my values are off. So I'm going to be conflicted in myself, in my head, in my body. So they don't align. Again, if I'm just doing stuff for money, but it's not making me happy, and then what I'm doing with that money is not making me happy, I'm not aligned with my values and my purpose. So let's get clear on that out there, particularly men. Get clear on it. Get clear on that, because if you're not, you will suffer. You will get to my age, not all the time, but you will have this low level, and we see it all the time. You'll have this low level thing, frustration, anger, whatever it is will eat away at you, and you'll get angrier and more frustrated and blame the world more and more and more. And that's why you get, particularly like, I used to be the same tradesman, I will go into what I used to do and stuff, just angry all the time. And it's like you get caught up in this anger bubble,
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? We get caught up in the culture of what we're doing, the society of what we live in, and we're so often told this is how we behave. And the construction industry, mate, is so rife with that, because it's this huge work hard, play hard. I mean, you talked about drugs and alcohol. Let's be honest here, it's massive in construction. So many people that I have worked with and known, myself, my own circles, it's a normal thing to, credit to the lads in construction generally, or lads and ladies, tradespeople.
I love that industry still.
They graft.
Yeah.
But there's this work hard, play hard thing where it's like, they graft, and then the reward for grafting is getting on it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, getting on the, a few drinks leads to getting the bag in.
I've got to tell you a story, right? When I was, and this is stupid, so don't do this, because I was a maniac when I was young. So this is, so I'm 49, it's 36 years ago. No, about 30, 30-something years ago. So the industry was different then as well. It was proper like geezer, just full geezer. you know, I mean, we'd have fights at, you know, it was madness. It was, I mean, I know it's still a bit like that, but we would work. So I was a dry liner working for my brother, who, by the way, was not nice to work for. Back then, he was just, some days he wouldn't talk to me the whole day. He was going through that, whatever he was going through, he wouldn't talk to me the whole day. In the car, on the way to work, at work, wouldn't say a word. Like, what is, that's madness, right? Yeah. Anyway, so one morning I was out, so we used to go out and get on it, like all night, like pills, coke, like just on it. And I was round some friends, and I was supposed to be working in, we were building the biggest metal jumbo stud wall in Europe at the time, in Tiptree or somewhere like that, in a massive warehouse. It was literally the biggest jumbo stud wall. And we were driving there. I had to work in the morning. I said I was going to work, and he came, picked me up from this place where I was off my head, put me in the car, drove all the way to Essex, worked half a day till 1 o'clock. I was asleep in the car the whole time, and then he just got back in the car and drove me home, and kicked me out as I got back. And I went in Monday morning, and I was like, it was a mix of like the legend and the Wally of the site. It was like, because I've been asleep off my head, and everyone's walking past, go, you know, and it was just, but that's what I used to do. I used to go out, I used to go on all night benders and go to work, and then just get on the gear at 7:30 in the morning and go and try and work through that.
Yeah.
I used to literally go and get this was insane. I used to have my cocaine that I used to chop up. Friday afternoon, I'd be chopping it up in the car, putting it into all the bags and that in the car while we were working, and then we'd just go out on it. And then we'd stay in my work clothes from Friday till Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And I'd be, you know, chirping women, pulling women, going back, but I'd be in my work clothes the whole weekend. That was like the badge of honour for a man.
Mate, the cycle is mad, isn't it? It really is. I've been there, I've lived it myself. So drugs was never my thing, but I've drunk.
You're so lucky, mate.
I've drunk from an early age. So drinking, I'd go on a drinking bender. I'd be surrounded by drugs, people on and doing and selling. So I've been around the culture. I don't know where it come from, to be honest with you, James. I've always had
so
this.
Lucky,
I've
mate.
had this. I say it's an irrational fear, but hopefully it's very rational.
Very rational.
But I've always had a fear that if I ever, I don't know, I must have heard a news, but something that went in deep. And I've always had this fear that if I ever did a line of coke, I'd do the bad line and die.
Can I ask you a question on that? Because I always put it as self-value, and this is quite a personal question. You don't have to ask.
No, carry on.
Did you like yourself when you were young or not?
No.
Right. Okay. No. So it's interesting.
I realise that now. I didn't then. There's a lot that I've come to realise that I think the abandonment that I felt through my mum leaving, and she sort of like started her own life. That relationship never really got repaired.
Yeah.
And also by staying with my dad, who chose drink, was another abandonment. Although he didn't abandon me physically, we were in the same house. Emotionally, definitely. And I carried a lot of anger through my life, mate. I mean, I went through stages, which I've spoken about openly. So I've been in construction my whole life, with the exception of a 4-year period where I worked as a bailiff. And I did very well at the job, because back then I'd have said, I'm not scared of anything. Now I realise it was self-harm. So I would deliberately put myself in harm's way. And I look back at that whole period of my life now very, very differently. It took me a long time to work out why I acted the way that I did.
Do you think you went into that because you were angry into that world?
Yeah.
So it was like that thing of like, well, I wanted
to fight the world. Yeah. I mean,
I was exactly like that.
I've never been an aggressive person in terms of going and starting fights. But as you touched on earlier, the culture around going out and drinking and lad culture was so different. I was your typical alpha male type. Worked in construction, played football from the age of 8 till I was 30. You know, my weekends, my weekends looked like going out, getting in at 4 a.m. Saturday night, playing football Sunday morning, back to the pub, getting back on it, and every night ended up in a fight.
Mate, how did you not get into, like, I'm so impressed by you.
No idea. I was surrounded by it,
dodged a bullet, mate.
Surrounded by it all the time.
Dodged a bullet.
I don't know why. I always had the fear that if I did that line or I popped that pill, it would kill me.
Well done.
So I always just...
See, the mad thing is, up until 18, right? I smoked weed and everything when I was 13, and so I did loads of weed and I drank loads. But up until the age of 18, I was against pills and coke and all of that, against it. Speed. All my friends were doing it, and I was against it. I was like, nah, it's for losers. And then at 18, I popped a ecstasy pill, and then I was like, it's the best thing ever.
Just inhibition.
And I just went, you know, and it was the thing I was looking for, the escape. And that was it. It was the escape from my life.
I'd love to be able to put a finger on it and say, I saw this or I witnessed that, but there isn't. But I saw it ruin and destroy a lot of people.
God, mate, well done.
From a young age, I saw people getting in trouble. I saw people just change from being people with prospects to people with none, all based around drugs. But as I say, I grew up around the culture. My friends were doing and partaking. Some were dealing. But I never felt the temptation. I'll tell the truth. The first time I ever did any kind of drug that would be deemed illegal, I was 30. I smoked weed for the first time at 31.
Go on, my son.
At 31 in Mexico.
Right.
So
no,
that was the first time.
It?
Yeah, great.
In Mexico.
I enjoyed it.
You know, yeah. So that's the thing with me now. It's like I realise, even drink. I realise I'm not doing it. Let me think about this, because it's the wording of stuff. I know it doesn't add any value to my life.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely. It doesn't make me more fun. It doesn't make me more energy. It doesn't make my inhibitions go. It doesn't... I don't know, like, what else? I don't know what else drink is, you know, I don't know what else it's, you know, proposed to do, but it doesn't do any of them things for me. It makes me not respect myself. It makes me say things I don't want to say. It makes me act in ways that I'm not actually proud of myself. It makes me feel bad for a very long time. And I could go on. So I'm like, why? Because society tells me, or that I'm a fucking pussy without drinking, or like, nah, mate, I don't need to prove anything to anyone that I'm anything, because I'm just, you know what I mean? That's my thing with it. It
takes a lot to get to that point, I think, James, doesn't it? It depends. You've done that work on yourself. You obviously know yourself very well at this stage, but it's the people that have not. It's a journey, isn't it? And the people that haven't started that journey, you go with the flow, you go with the crowd. And if the crowd and culture and society, and like I say, particularly with the construction industry, is that.
And I get it. It is that thing. You finish early, you go and have a few beers, you know, and I get it. And there is something about, you know, and again, it could be just the culture, what we're told. There's something about, it's weird. There's something about manual work, but then whenever I don't think it is that. It's the culture. So it's like all the lads round. But here's the thing. What's really interesting is often you'd be on a building site and you'd say, oh, I can't exercise, or I can't do that because I haven't got the energy or the time or the whatever. But you've got the energy to go and smash 12 pints after work and then wake up feeling like shit and do it all again the next day. Like, so is that it? Or you know, I want us to explore that. I want us to, like, as humans, as men particularly, to ask ourselves what, like, really the deep question of why am I doing it? And I get it now from geezers. Well, I just enjoy it, and you know, and I'm like, or I just want to have a good time, and is life. This is what I then ask myself: is life that bad that I have to do this thing that absolutely destroys me to have a good time? Like, am I that? Is my life that bad? And I'm not bashing drinkers or drink or anything. I mean, I am, and I'm not, because I do think it is one of the biggest issues that we've got in society.
I completely agree.
And I'm not saying you know to not do it or whatever, but I caution with drink and drugs. I caution because the moment you break the seal, then where are you? You don't know what type of person you are. So I just caution someone to, you know, just be careful before you do something, anything, because you just don't know what kind of person you are.
100%. I agree with everything that you've said. I do drink, but sporadically. I've got a personal rule in my life, because growing up around my dad, who was a drinker, made me very aware, I guess, of how bad it can get and how quick it can go that way. I look back at my life now and realise that I actually, because I've always said, like, I never had a problem with drink, I've never had that problem. But when I actually look at how I used to drink, I definitely did. Well,
and you've I think the thing of drink is like, can you stop it?
Yeah.
If the whole thing of an addiction or a problem with something is, if you see your life without that thing and you really don't, like, it's an issue, then you've got an issue. And you could argue, like, I had a friend of mine argue that, well, if you don't know that you've not tried to do it, then how do you know you've got a problem? But that don't make sense, because purely by not being able to give it up, then you have got a problem. Yeah. And you could argue, well, I don't want to, and like we can do that, and we can argue that point, and we can say that, but is that the truth? I don't know.
What I've come to realise myself, because my drinking habits were wrong, massively wrong, because I couldn't go out for one or two. It was, if I was going for a drink, it was to drink to oblivion. It was to drink to, and that was normal. You know, there was a saying, like, me and my mates, if we'd go out, it'd be like, I'm getting para tonight. Yeah.
Which
was like paralytic.
Getting smashed.
Yeah, that exactly. Was it was never, let's go for a drink and have a chat.
Yeah.
It was, let's get obliterated till we can't stand. You know, the only reason the night stopped is because somebody had to be carried home.
Yeah.
And now I realise how wrong that was. These days, my own personal rule on drink is I will only have a drink, I will not have a drink if for any reason I feel I need a drink. In that respect of, I've had a hard day, I need a drink. I'm tired, I need a drink. I'm celebrating, I need a drink. If ever I feel I need a drink, I won't drink.
Right. I think what you've done there is really nicely put in that.
Is it dead yet, Zane?
Yeah. I know, he's loving it. Stop.
He's fine.
Come here, buddy. There you go. Come here. I know. I think what you've you've actually worked out yourself is that if you can, again, this is my opinion and my belief, if we can break the habit of something, we can break what it means to us. So that's, for me, is really powerful. If I can break the thought of, I'm going to go and celebrate, or I'm going to have a treat, or I'm going to do whatever. If I can break that habit.
After my water. Does he want some?
No, he's fine. Yeah, no, he's fine. He just likes water bottles. If I can break that habit, then I can break whatever it is doing to me. That's what I believe of everything. So if we can, instead of like food, for instance, we get conditioned when we're young that going to McDonald's is a treat. So then when we get older, I'm going to have a treat. I'm going to have this bit of cake, or I'm going to eat this whole pizza, or I'm going to eat this whole cake. Oh no, it's just a treat. You know, I'm like 25 stone, but it's just a treat. Come on, I've got to enjoy myself. And we attach things to these things because we're indoctrinated into that. We're programmed. And this is the work that I do, is getting us to let go of these stories, getting us to build new pathways and new stories, and break the habits of old. Because then when you do that, you're so powerful. You can then manage anything that goes in and out of yourself. And when we have that emotional mastery, we are fucking ninjas of emotional mastery. And then you can feel good about yourself. You don't hate yourself. You don't feel disgusted at yourself. You don't look at yourself. You don't not look at yourself in the mirror because you can't look at yourself in the mirror because you fucking hate yourself so much, you know. And then you can start to act like that. So my thing is, like, it starts with thinking like you like yourself. Then you start talking like you like yourself. Then you act like you like yourself. And those are, it's like a three-pronged attack, you know, or a three-pronged process that if we're missing one of them, so if we're shoveling loads of shit food and drinking loads, we're not treating ourselves right. So we're never going to think right about ourselves, and we're never going to really talk right about ourselves. We're just going to pretend. Yeah. So we've got this opposing things, this fight inside of us. That's where I think that we're going wrong. So if we can align those things even a little bit, it hasn't got to be like, oh my God, I'm eating like, one lettuce leaf and, and then I'm sitting on a mountain for 7 hours. No, let's bring this into normal life.
There's an irony really, James, isn't there? Because we talk, and the way that we act is we reward ourselves. I've worked hard this week. I deserve that pint, which leads to 10.
10, yeah.
Or I deserve, like you said, that takeaway, which is actually really shit food.
Right.
And then on the flip side of that, if you're eating healthy, it's actually labelled as a punishment.
Yeah,
I've got to eat healthily because I'm fat. Here's my punishment for getting fat. I need to, do these things that are non-enjoyable. Let's pause this episode there briefly to say a big thank you to this episode's sponsors, Brewers, Decorators, Centres, and let you guys know about a few of the great deals they've got on in October. Starting with, for every purchase of AF1 in October, Brewers are going to be donating £2 to save the Rhino. You can save £12 on 7.5 litres of Johnson's Cover Plus vinyl mat in brilliant white. They have 40% off 10 litres of Armstead Trade Contract Mat. And you can also save 20% off Isomat, bath and kitchen paints. With that in mind, big thank you to Brewers again for your continued support. Now let's get back to the episode. So it's actually everything's done the wrong way around, isn't it?
So let's look at, again, what you just said. You said it perfectly as well. I've got to eat healthily. So instead of us saying I've got to, I'm going to, I choose to.
I want to.
I am. These are statements. They're not like, it's a chore. Oh, I've got to go to the gym. I've got 2 legs and 2 arms and a fit, able body. Wow. It's like that. So having that gratitude and bringing that gratitude in for these little things. These are tiny little things. They sound a bit woo and a bit, but the more gratitude we can get for ourselves, for our life, for our surroundings, for our inner thoughts, the better we are. We're then programming ourselves to be a better version of ourselves, little by little.
Definitely.
And it's tiny incremental changes, Russ. It's like, you think to go from here to here is like this. You've got to completely change your life. Stop doing that. Oh, I'm so boring. And by the way, when I gave up drinking and drugs, because I was a maniac all day through the night, I got in a lot of trouble because I owed drug dealers a lot of money and because I was doing so much of it. And, I was doing it at 7:30 in the morning. I'd be in bed with my then girlfriend and I'd be staying awake all night doing gear, looking out the window like fuck. I was freaked. I was like, so I wasn't like, when I talk to people about my drink and drug stuff, it wasn't little. It wasn't like, it was serious, like no joke. Like I don't know what the thing is that allowed me to come out of that, because I've got friends who are gone because of it, and I don't know what's the difference in that, of like how someone can have that switch to get them out of it and someone can't, because I was on, I was doing crack, I was doing, like everything. Okay. But the heroin is the only thing I didn't do.
Did you get onto the cycle? Because I know it's something that seems to repeat itself. You go from user to dealer to fund the use.
No, I was dealer first.
You started dealing first?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did a tiny bit of drugs, and then I started dealing speed. Because again, I was always a wheeler dealer at school. I was always a kid at school, stealing sweets, selling them at school, always coming up with this angle and this thing. Mate, we used to go in regularly and say it was like my birthday, and then get money from people. Weird. I don't even know how we used to do it.
James has got 4 birthdays a year.
Mate, it was so weird. I was like the Queen, And then my cousin, we'd go and tell, but we'd just come up with all of these ways to get money. I was doing paper. Oh, well, I didn't do a paper round. I used to get newspapers and then go and sell them. The first paper round I ever did, I actually got the papers and went and stuffed them down a drain. And the guy drove round and found me stuffing the papers down the drain. I got sacked straight away. It's the only paper round I ever had for a day or a week or however my memory recalls it. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's real or not, the memory.
Mate, do you know what? It was a lovely bit of nostalgia then, because I used to think the same. Like where I used to live, I never did a paper round, but where I used to live used to back onto some woods, and whoever did have the paper round, it used to be like once every few days, you'd just see the big piles of papers degrading in the woods. Because I'd just gotten from the off license, gone into the woods and lobbed them.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know, I was that kid.
Yeah.
But it's so, I was always that wheeler dealer. I was always doing stuff. I was always, and then, I was like Arthur Daly. And the funny thing is, when I was young, my uncle's cousin was Delboy, was David Jason.
No way.
I never met him, but he was just so that was my claim to fame, because I was from London and I moved to Norwich. I was like, so I was always a bit different, and that was real. It was true. And so I was always this wheeler dealer type, and it was mad. And I liked that, I thought that was the way to be. And it was always get what I can, take what I can. And then when I went into business, I then was the same. Let me get, if I'm here, what's the angle I can work with Russ? Can I get here? Because I thought, and I think we still do, that in business you have to be like that. It's wrong. It's not the way. The more value you can add, the more love, kindness, abundance. I call it abundance. I call it from my whole thing is from scarcity to abundance. I call it abundance. If I can walk in a room, not to be the geezer and like make everyone laugh, but to bring love, kindness, warmth, generosity. If I can bring that in a room now, I don't have to sell myself. I don't have to tell people what I'm doing, or that's just a coffee thing, Zane, don't worry. I don't have to tell people, oh, you have to do this, and I'll get this and do this for me. I'm just putting the good word out, and that's all I'm doing now, as much as I can. With obviously, we're all selling ourselves in some way, with a dose of that, but in the best way I can, rather than trying to get all the time.
We've all got to work, mate. We've all got to work. There's no such thing as being 100% selfless, because if you were 100% selfless, you would have nothing. And we've all got basic needs, and that's part of being human and survival. We want to survive and we want to thrive.
My friend wrote a book. My friend Jason Vale, shout out to you, Jace. He's an incredible human being. He's called the Juice Master. He runs juicing retreats. He's just about to build. I'm going to give him a plug, because he's about to build the biggest retreat, but it's a fitness and health and what.
I've seen it on your socials, mate. It looks amazing.
Mate, it is unbelievable. It's called Juicy Escape, and it's in the Algarve, and it's 40 acres of just all the stuff that us blokes want to do.
Yeah.
All the sports, all the things, and it's food there as well he's having. So he's having an evening meal as well. So it's going to be, it's for us blokes than the other one that he used to have, that blokes would feel a bit funny about going. But when they were there, they were like, this is the best thing ever. It's incredible. But he wrote a book called Create Magic. And he says, and I agree, there's no selfless act. Because everything we do gives us joy. Yeah. So, but the more we can do it, the more, and that's what's beautiful. Because so if you can provide something for someone, you're experiencing it through them, and that's beautiful. So it's like, do that.
I say that, mate. I've had, I'm blessed that people have said to me, "Oh, it's very selfless what you're doing," and I always sort of bat that back. One, because I don't like compliments.
I know you don't. I already say that. And I'm gonna, that's something.
Two, it was. My path into this, I'll keep it relatively short.
No, man, always. I love it.
My path into doing this started when I started volunteering at Samaritans. So I volunteered there for 18 months because I was studying psychology. So I studied psychology and I went counselling therapy and thought I need to get some experience, like hands-on, dealing with people in crisis, because it came from a place actually of looking at myself and going, I don't know if I want to take that energy on board. I need to do it and see how it feels. And I did it, and it was a transformative experience for me, because first of all, I realised that I could do it. And second of all, I realised the feeling that it gave me. So probably a little bit like yourself, mate. I've always been in business. I took over my business at 17. I've ran several businesses, different arms of the business and all sorts. And it was so refreshing to put my attention into something that did not have financial, like there was no financial driver.
Yeah.
And that was what I gained from doing Samaritans. And same thing, people used to say it's a really selfless thing to do. I was like, well, it's not really, because the reason I'm doing it is because I feel great afterwards. And yes, in the process of helping people, that's what makes me feel good. But it's not a selfless act, because I'm helping people really on the back end of it, because I feel good for doing it.
I think this is a really key thing, because what happens is our ego gets the better of us. We get the kind of God complex, and you see it a lot. We particularly with men, but women get it. Women get it in a different way. Women I've worked with, and I see the subtle differences in men and women when I've worked with them, particularly high-powered people. I see subtle differences in men and women. Men, it's that very much like, well, you know, they rely on me, you know, their families. I've got like 50 families relying on me, you know, for their income and blah, blah, blah. No, you haven't, mate. I'm like, calm down. If you weren't around, they'd be all right. Do you know what I mean? Don't think you're that. You've got a care of duty to them people, 100%. But let's just calm yourself down. You know what I mean? So what that does, a two-pronged thing there, actually helps the person feel like they're not so responsible for people, because that can be from a good place, but it also then creeps into ego as well, and that kind of God complex that, you know, a lot of humans have. And then you've got the so you've got that kind of like the one person doing it, and then you've got the other side is the you know, the more kind of ego, and, you know, just doing it from that place. So it's a very tricky thing to balance. You know what I mean? It's a very hard thing to look at when we think we're providing for people. I'll be honest with you. So the biggest lesson, one of the biggest lessons I had in the last few years has been the Will Smith thing.
Okay.
Taught me a massive lesson.
The Will Smith, the slap incident. Okay.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest realizations I've ever had. And it made me realize that I am not responsible for my wife, and she is not responsible for me. And now I pushed that out everywhere into I've care of duty for every human being, for my dog, for you, for everyone. I've got care of duty. I'm not responsible for you. I'm not responsible for my dog. I'm not responsible for my wife. She's her own person. I'm my own person. If I act, if I think someone needs me to do something for them, who am I acting? Whose thoughts am I acting upon?
Your own, yeah.
So if I go and slap someone on stage because my wife looks at me funny, right? I'm assuming that I'm standing up for her. Does she need me to stand up for her? You know? You see what I mean? Yeah. I don't have to get in my wife's shit all the time. If someone's mean to her on social media or whatever, and by the way, my wife's in the public eye. So if someone's mean to her, yeah, I can get a bit frustrated, but I also realize it's not real. They're not going to do it to her face. So it's like, I'm like, whatever. And we like, whatever.
It's a unique position, Joe. I mean, are you okay with mentioning who your wife is?
Yeah. Beverley Knight, the singer and actress, yeah.
I mean, that is, again, a unique position that you're in that not many other people will be able to resonate with, because you've got a very famous, very well-known wife who will be the subject of attention from the faceless social media accounts and all the rest of it that are out there. That bizarre phenomenon, the trolling thing, which is just, I don't understand it.
I like it. I think it's so funny. I really think it's funny. I just think because I understand. So I've got a very unique view on this, and only because of the work I've done on myself. 10 years ago, I'd have punched someone in the face. Like, and genuinely, here's the thing, right? When I'm sitting here saying all these things, in my opinion, my views, might seem very like, oh my God, you know, I'm so zen and all that. But come at me in the wrong way still, and I'm going to be the person that I was. There's still a version of that. There's still a savage in there that will choke you out. Like, there's no doubt about it. But that version is so far away, you actually physically have to grab me or do something in that way if I haven't de-escalated it already, which 9.999 times out of 10 I will, because I don't care, because I haven't got that ego anymore. I don't care, and I'm not the toughest guy in the world. I'm not this, I don't want any of that. I don't want to roll around the streets of anyone. I don't want an issue of anyone. I don't even want to say a harsh word to anyone, because I don't care about my opinion. I don't have to get my opinion. I don't have to get you to believe what I say, Russ. I don't care. My ego isn't that strong. I don't care anymore because I know that it's just an opinion, just like yours. It might not even be what I fully believe. It might just be a program or a story. And I know that what you're coming from or what someone is saying is a program or a story. I know that that can be changed. I know they can change their mind if they meet. Let's say someone's doesn't like a certain member of society, like a black person or whatever. If they get friendly with someone, their view changes. Mm-hmm. It's a classic thing that's happened from the dawn of time. What we don't know, we're usually frightened of or we're against or whatever. Yeah. But as soon as we know that thing, we're then, oh, well, you're okay. It must be the others. Well, it isn't. It's just because you've let go of the thought around someone being a certain way.
I understand that, mate, completely. There's that analogy, isn't there? The two wolves, whichever one you feed more grows the strongest and takes over. And I can resonate exactly with you. I've had my stages through life where I used to look for... I never started fights, but I'd look for them and I'd never back down from them. And there was a big part of me that when that opportunity arose, I'd smile because I'd be like,
yes,
okay,
here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You've opened the door.
Yeah.
But it's not and like me. You said...
It's not me, you did it.
Yeah, but it was the green light. Okay.
Yeah.
That part of me, same thing, it still lives within me. I just have fed the white wolf, if you like, a lot more. And it's one of those things where I often say it's my objective, my mission in life to be a good person. But I differentiate that between a nice person. I want to be a good person. But that doesn't mean that if somebody oversteps a mark, that I'm not going to protect myself and those that I love.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
Massively important.
Exactly.
Boundaries are hugely important. Boundaries are, this is where we give our, so a lot of the women I work with give their power away for people to treat them a certain way and then wonder why they're being treated a certain way. And men as well. We do certain things, we let certain things go, and then we wonder why we're not getting what we want or why we feel a certain way. But it's because we're not setting in boundaries and we're not holding people accountable, including ourselves. So if someone does or says something to us, first of all, for me, I've got this process that I go through, these 7, I've got basically everything I do is around these 7 rules or principles that I have. And everything I do the first 4 straight away. So if we're having a chat and all of a sudden you go to me, this is another like a good thing that we could, that someone could take on and try. If we're having this conversation, right, and then suddenly it takes a turn for the worse and you start going, well, you fucking idiot, and I'm like, what? And the old me, like you, would go, what? Who are you? And then my thing is to go above you in the anger. And then where does that lead? To a fight. And then great. But I've only done it to protect myself.
Yeah.
What I do now is straight away go, boom. So there's 7 rules, but I do the first 4. Just fucking breathe, all right? Shut my mouth. Take a breath in through the nose, in my rib cage. What that does is put me in my parasympathetic nervous system straight away. Rest and digest, calms me down. Instead of my fight or flight coming out, I can then manage my emotions. That's the key thing first. Then I go inward. Rule number 2, take ownership. I look at myself and go, have I done something here? Has my energy been weird? Did I just say something? Then I go, leave my ego at the door, number 3. And I go, hold on, does this even matter? This is someone I love. I haven't got an issue here. I'm safe. I'm safe. Am I safe? Am I in a yes. Then 4, be present. Become present. Don't look at what happened in the past. Don't look at what you think might happen in the future. Oh, well, if I don't smash this guy, this could happen. And then blah, blah. And then we've gone mad. I do those 4 things now in a split second because I've trained myself. Don't always get it right because sometimes still it can catch me this is not me, but if I've drunk too much, I've had a poor night's sleep, I've been watching something on social media that isn't, and I've been around a group of people that are angry and frustrated and blah, 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 blah. So if I'm any of those things, I then... I then am upregulated already. I'm in a state of fight or flight. So I then will respond or react in fight or flight. But if I'm doing the work and doing things that nourish me and all the rest of it, then I don't have to react. I can respond and do those 4 things. Just fucking breathe, take ownership, leave the ego at the door and be present. If we can do that in a split second or 30 seconds, we're going to de-escalate it.
It's really valuable advice, mate, because again, these kind of things are not talked about and not taught. And as men in particular, again, working class, building site generation is exactly. But again, it comes down to some of the values that we're taught. The values are you got to be the biggest, toughest. Yeah, don't let anyone bully you. How do you do that? Well, you hit them first and you ask questions after, and all that kind of thing. Never back down. Never do this. And it just escalates into so many problems. And again, it comes down to self-control, self-reflection, working on yourself.
And I don't even like to use the word self-control. I just like to use the word self-mastery. Because I'm mastering my emotions. I'm I'm trying, I'm working towards. I'm managing. So mantra, my mantra that I live by, that I came up with, I may have copied it, I don't know, but I think I came up with it. Like none of us know. We're all regurgitating all this stuff. It's not. I'm not invented fire or something. I'm just regurgitating what I've heard in the way that works for me. And then some people are going to resonate with. Others are going to say, "Shut up, you muppet," and I'm cool with that because I'm not for everyone, and I'm all right with that. So I cannot control what goes on around me. All I can do is manage my emotions and responses to what goes on. I live every second of my life like that now.
Very stoic, that is, James. So I studied the Stoics, and Epictetus said something very similar.
Right.
Yeah. But again, I find stoic mindset has been big claim, life-changing for me.
It's not a big claim.
It's that I used to very much be in the victim sort of mindset.
Me
I was
too,
very
brother.
angry.
Me too. Let's go.
very, very angry. Woe is me. World is against me.
I don't even want to be here.
It was installed in me from a young age, though. I was told by my father that we, as a family, our bloodline, were unlucky. Nothing ever works out for us. And I carried that, mate. Because I was told that from youth. I'm like, okay, well, that's it then. So then I'm angry already because nothing ever works out for me. Why don't it work out for me? And once you start, all you're looking for is closed doors. All you see is closed doors.
Mate, isn't it? You know what? For anyone out there that's having that at the moment, don't be frustrated at the person telling you it because they do believe it and they're just in a bad way. Don't hate on the person.
It's a projection.
Yeah, don't hate on that person. It's what they got told.
Yep.
And it's for us to break that cycle. And when we realise we can, we're so powerful. Like, I don't care whether you're from a council estate, whether you're from a line of whatever, or you're this, that and the other, you're told you're this. It's all stories. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Don't get caught up in that. Like, do not, please, I'm asking you, don't get caught up in the story because it's just words. And it's how we communicated whenever. It's how we communicated. It's how we told folklore. It's how we've done everything. And it's all made up.
I must admit, it's one of the things that I like about the transformation from being a class-led society into a consumer society. I'm not a big fan of consumerism, but the emergence from class-based systems, and again, my dad probably caught the back end of this, you're working class, son. That is what you are. That is what you will be. You will always have a hard life because you are working class. But there was never any, you can rise above that. You can do this, you can do that. No, you are this. Here's your bracket in life.
This thing.
Yeah.
Changed the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
It's the leveler.
Yeah. And now all of a sudden you can have, air quote, working class people that make it big on YouTube.
Right. Rubbing shoulders with the prince of whatever. Yeah. Obviously, they're still looked down upon by the hierarchy because they're not changing.
No, of course.
They're clinging on to that shit like they're not letting go of that. So the class system is still very, 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 very deep.
I think it exists at the top amongst those at the top, I think less credibility is given to it by what used to be middle or lower class or working class.
Yeah, I agree.
Because now we just don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. If somebody were to walk in here today and announce themselves as Lord of whatever,
Lord Farquhar of Toad Hall,
that would mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, but who are you as a person?
Great, yeah. I'd be like, okay, cool, and we'd talk, and then that's the thing. I think, and that's where the phone, we talked about it earlier, that being around 8 billion people now is a positive. And I always try and think of the positives of what, the things we're going through today, rather than, oh my God, the phone's doing this and it's doing that and AI is going to kill the world and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, what positives can we take from it? Yeah, let's discuss the limitations and the negatives, but then let's always spin it and go, but there is some really good positives as well. And as I said, that the phone can take you from a camp in Africa, if you can get a phone there, which some have, and it can make you one of the biggest content creators in the world, and you can be a multi millionaire and be living your best life and helping millions of people from your situation. What?
Exactly.
When we were young, builder, electrician, I don't know, candlestick maker, baker, whatever it was. That's it.
You were in your
For
brackets.
kids like me, my teachers genuinely used to say to me, you'll be in prison. That was what they used to say to me.
Wow. What a thing for a teacher to say to a youth, to put that into their head. I've got a massive, we won't go into it, James, because I could talk about the education system for a long time. I've got massive gripes with my industry with that. Fell out with one of my son's teachers years ago because my son was told, if you don't knuckle down and study, my son did well at school, a little bit like me, a bit rebellious, doesn't like being told what to do. Yeah. But if you don't knuckle down and study, Alfie, you'll end up on a building site. I'm not wrong. Yeah. Sorry, what? Yeah. Red rag to a bull. Yeah. And it is
just a flippant remark that they think, it's that old school mentality of like, there are some, I've been a property developer as well as the other things I've done. That's like, you can look at the property developers in one. I'm not saying it's the best industry or it is or it isn't, because we can go into that and really talk about other things of that. But billionaires by property. Yeah. So what? And most property developers start off being on the tools, because we know that's the only way to get out of that is to fucking buy your own property, do one, do another one, try another one, buy a bit of land, blah, 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 blah. So that's actually an incredible way to do it,
There are some very, very successful businesses in the construction industry now. It's not, if you were to talk about a successful plumbing business or electrical business.
Let's say success on money, though.
Yes, absolutely. Financially viable.
Yeah. Let's just talk finances.
Yeah. 6 figures. But very valid point, because when it comes to the balance of life, mate, there's something going very, very wrong in the industry. The statistics show and highlight that. And the worst thing is, and I know you're a big advocate for action over just awareness. Yeah. And it's something that I've fell into.
Action over waffle.
Yeah. I've spent probably the last 18 months saying, look, I'm doing this podcast to raise awareness of the issue, and awareness is getting out there. More people are talking about the issue, but the trajectory of male suicide in construction is still like that.
Right.
It's still going up. Year by year, the ONS stats are showing rise.
Okay, so I'm going to put it to you. What do you think's going on there?
A myriad of things, to be honest with you, James. I don't think it's one thing. I think it's a perfect storm. I've sat down now with over 100 people, a lot of guests, a lot of tradespeople, and I tend to always ask the question, why do you think it's so badly affected? There's a few key areas. So within the construction industry demographic, the 2 worst affected trades are plasterers and decorators, right, the 2 finishing trades. So the 2 most likely to work alone. So long lone working hours. So you've got lone working is a big issue. Drug and alcohol culture within the industry. High rates of self-employed, so no HR departments. I could work 80 hours next week. Nobody's going, Russ, you've worked a bit much this week. You know, next week we'll give you hours in lieu or whatever. Constant pressure, financial instability. Those are the main ones that come up. But to me, it's that combination. So it's the
powerfully
financial
dark,
instability. You finished the job, you were told you'd be paid Friday, it's Sunday now and the money's still not in. Yeah. So what do? You go, I'm stressed. So what do?
Yeah, go on a sauce.
I'll go and have a drink.
And spend more money that you haven't got as well. This is the madness of it, yeah.
Your wife at home, you walk in the door.
Kill the energy. So I got this thing, I did a post the other day. I
saw, mate, it was spot on.
Right.
Yeah. You walk in the door, you're miserable, you're stressed, and you've had a few beers. So
kill the energy.
Your missus is fuming now.
Yeah, the kids are upset.
Now you're rowing all weekend. Now you've got relationship problems. And Monday, you're back on site on your own all day, hungover, in your own head, worried about money. You've got your missus texting you and you fall. And this is what I mean. It's that perfect storm. And
then, do you know, you're right. And then what we do, and this is what's really good, then we then moan about our family. Then we say, oh, my wife's a nightmare. Yeah. She's out of order. She's this, she's that. Yeah. When we're going and bringing that horrible energy home, that stress, we're not nice to her, we're this, that and the other. We then blame the world. We then look at them. Then what we do is start looking around us to blame. Well, they're doing better than me. Oh, well, them immigrants are this and those illegal this, and then no, that person's this and rah 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 rah. So then because we can't go inward because we're already fucking doing ourselves in, so we go outward with that anger, and that's where we're going really, I think, viciously wrong. And you can see it with the march the other day, and that you can just look at what's going on and the people who are there, and you can just say, I just know that. I just know like where the and it's just ex-football hooligans. It's like angry, at society and can't go inward to work out why they're angry. And that's again with suicide, all of that. We get to a point where we think we can't live with what's going on inside anymore because the shame, because of what happened, and because I've been there, mate. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. When I bought a plot of land in London, and my friend had another plot of land, and we built these houses, stunning, like warehouse style properties, fucking £1 million, blah blah. And I made like 600 grand, right, in one thing. Worked 2.5 years like a maniac, and I made 600 grand, and I gave the whole lot away.
Gave it away? Okay.
I could sit here and tell you that someone ripped me off and that blah, 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 and I could be a victim. It's not true.
Right.
I gave it away. I went into a business deal. I didn't do the proper due diligence. I didn't what I trusted. I did whatever, and the money's gone. And I wanted to kill myself. Like genuinely wanted to kill myself because of the shame, because of I'd failed, because I'd worked so hard, because of all this other stuff. I shied away from the world, but no one knew. The only person that knew was my friend Jason Vale and my wife. No one else knew how bad I was. And I was so close to like just because.
Had you planned it?
No, I hadn't planned it, but I just was like, I cannot be here. I cannot deal with this. Even worse than when I was doing drugs and drinking and all that, because I'd nearly killed myself on drugs as well. Like I'm doing so much coke one night, I nearly died, and I'd been at the top of a multi-story car park at 21, walking around wanting to throw myself off because I was in such a dark place. But this was different. This was like I can't face the world knowing that I've lost that money. And I blamed and I fucking wanted to kill this guy and blah, 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 blah. And the only way I've come through it is by taking full accountability and ownership of the situation. And now the story that I choose to tell is that I gave that money away. And every single person I say it to has that same look on their face that you did. What the fuck are you on about? You gave away, and then I gave away more money. So I've probably given away £1 million. And I haven't got it. That was everything I had. Everything I had. So I'm still not I'm not, and this is where I'm different than these rich people on podcasts, right? They come on and go, yeah, I really went through it and now, give all this advice and everything. And they're now sitting on like 50 million. I'm not, okay?
Yeah.
I'm still in a place of recuperating from that and doing the things I'm doing now.
How long ago was that, James?
10 years.
Okay.
So at 40 years old, 40 years old when I should, as a man, be sorted. I should be a multi-millionaire. I should be this. I should.
Shit.
Yeah. Right. I want to kill myself because I gave all my money away. So,
see, the ego and shame side of it, mate. I think, again, it plays such a big part, again, in construction. And that's all too often financial instability. We don't want to tell our mates. You don't want to tell your mates or your friends and family, do you know what? Actually, I'm on my last 50 quid here. I'm struggling. Until that 10 grand invoice gets paid, I have nothing. There's too many people that will walk around painting the picture of the successful business person because, again, it's their ego, their identity. And God forbid that was shattered. And then that pressure that builds up. I think it's so tragically sad, James, when people choose to leave this world because of that.
Because we think there's no other way out, and there is. But it's not what we think it is. This is where I'm different than what a lot of people are talking about. The answers aren't outside. They never are. They're always inside.
So to dive into your personal situation in that respect then, so you hit that darkness and it got to the point when you didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
Why didn't you take your life?
Because of the person that I was becoming. So, if it had been 10 years earlier, I might have done. Because I didn't respect myself as much as I did at 40, because I was putting the work in. I was trying to be a better person. I was trying to be kinder, trying to be, I was not drinking. I still did cocaine every now and then. I'd lie and say I didn't. The old classic, I don't do it. Yeah, I did. So, but I was becoming a better version of myself, and I respected myself a little bit. If I hadn't have respected myself a little bit, I think I'd have done it. I genuinely think I'd have done it. And I'm also lucky that it was all my money, and my wife is okay. So I did have something to fall back on. Like, I did have a house to live in. You know what I mean? I did, albeit I then had to really start to think, how the hell am I going to do, and then I've gone on and done other things and, other property things, and managed to get some money back and, do so.
Is there but
if I didn't have a support network, if I didn't have someone out there, my wife's incredible. I'm so lucky that she's I call her my lioness, because she'll don't worry about me in a confrontational situation, mate. She'll come from nowhere and she's she is no joke, and she's fiercely loyal, but she's also very stoic. I love that about her. She's not emotionally up and down, and she's stoic, and I love that because she's just calm and just incredible. She's an incredible woman, and I'm so lucky, and she's helped me and taught me so much. And
beautiful to hear somebody talk about their wife in that way, mate.
Mate, I think women are incredible. I used to hate women. Genuinely, I used to hate them. I used to treat them like I hated them. The way I used to sleep with them, and, because they used to perpetuate it as well. So then I thought, well, there you go. Well, you are a slag, or you're this, or you're that. And that was my view, because my relationship, my mum and my sister made me feel a certain way. And, it was very tricky, so there's a lot in there, man.
Because you've got quite a unique, I guess, power situation in your relationship.
Oh, yeah. That's someone else I had.
Was there more pressure, knowing that your wife is, she's had a successful career, she's a big profile? Does that add pressure onto you, where you not compete, but I guess exasperate any potential shame that you might feel for it going wrong?
Great question, mate. Great. So when I first met my wife, I used to be a gaffer. So I used to do lighting for pop videos and commercials. So I went from, I was I worked on a building site at 16. I was doing groundwork. I actually crashed a dumper into the side of a house because I was leery. You know when you're leery on a building site. Things kept happening. We'd go for a cable, or I was like, this isn't for me. And it was and on a weekend I was loading out plasterboard for my brother, and it was horrific. Anyone who's loaded out plasterboard, it's horrific. So I sacked that off and became a chef. But then after 4 years, I then went back. I worked with my brother again, or for my brother, as he used to remind me. You work for me, and that's, by the way, something I never will say now. If anyone's working with me, they're with me. Because of my brother, that hate I had for him saying that, it's made me never ever say that anyone works for me. They work with me. And I try and bring that energy in to give them as much, a part of it as possible. Anyway, so I then dry lined for like 4 years, shop fitting, dry lining, all of that. Then I left and managed to blag a job. I had to get away from Norwich, bin bag full of clothes, $7,000 in drug debt. And I managed to move away, blag a job at Sky TV in London.
Running away from drug dealers?
Yeah. Okay. He wanted it. They actually threatened. They rang me up, and I was living with my girlfriend at the time at her parents' house, and they threatened to drive a burning car through the house. And I know they would. So I was like, okay. And at the same time, I blagged this job, and a friend of mine got a job there and then managed to blag me one. Anyway, it was made up a CV, like completely made up a CV, mate. I got no qualifications, no education. I just made it all up. Luckily, they didn't check.
Yeah. Wow.
I told them I did like 6 months work experience at the Theatre Royal in Norwich.
Yeah.
And they didn't check. Fuck, mate. It was like...
Fantastic.
Yeah, innit? I'm not recommending doing that, by the way, if you're young. Yeah, this isn't like life advice, but sometimes you got to bend the truth a little bit to get where you want to be. But then I just worked my ass off, and then I did that for quite a few years. I was, then I worked my way. Then I left there because I was in the prop department. I then put myself through college, got my electrical installation. I then became a lighting technician, a freelance lighting technician. I then worked my way up to a gaffer, which is the head of the department, films and television, all of that stuff. And then I left that as well because it was too unhealthy. It was like 100-hour weeks again. Then in that time, I did property, and I was doing renovations and things, and bought properties and land, and did a few bits. Then did that, and I lost all that money or gave it away. Then in that time, I had a gym. I opened a gym. I was a professional MMA fighter. Other businesses, this, that.
How many MMA fights did you do?
I only had 2, but I'm like undefeated, so I'm like king of the world.
Good man. What organisation did you fight
It was UCMMA.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was called Ultimate Challenge, and it was the follow-on from Cage Rage,
right,
with Dave O'Donnell, the skinhead like London geezer.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to have 3 fights, but So I fought this one guy, beat him. On 2 weeks' notice, I fought him, beat him. Then I was supposed to have a rematch with him. He pulled out 20 minutes before. I trained 12 weeks for that with a savage from Brazil who came over and stayed at my gym, what we had. Yeah. He used to sleep at the gym. And I'd go in the gym in the morning, like Pink Panther and Kato.
Yeah.
Like he would fucking jump out on me, mate. And he was 80 kilos, and we'd just have it for like all day. We were training like 6 hours a day. It was mental. I was like... I've never been that better, as a fighter. I was like, and then the guy pulled out 20 minutes before the fight. I was like, and then I had one other fight, which I won with 20 seconds to go, which I was losing really. Anyway, so I did that, and then property and blah, 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 and then other things. And, now.
In amongst all this, James, where did you meet Beverley? Where did she come in?
So when I was gaffering, so I was gaffered her. Yeah. Okay. No, so I was freelance. So right. I was gaffered. So my friend couldn't do the advert. Put me on and said, "Oh mate, will you cover that for me?" I'm like, yeah. So if it wasn't for my mate Tony, I wouldn't have really met Bev. And then it was the video. It was the advert for her 6th album, and it's a bit of a long story. She came in the studio because what they do, right? They go. They say, "Oh, talent coming in," and next, you kind of everyone go, "Oh," and because usually they can be a bit funny or they want quiet or Bev came in, and I always liken this to, she opened the door, on like Roger Rabbit the film, when what Jessica Rabbit, and she came in and there's all butterflies and everything behind her. It was like that. And what I go back to, the abundance. She brought abundance into the room. She didn't say, she was like, "Hey, everyone." She didn't come in all shouting or what. she just brought this, and I was like, oh fuck, I didn't realise, because I see her photos and I'm like, if you take a picture of Bev in the wrong light, she doesn't look as in flesh. She's like so beautiful, but sometimes photos don't do her justice because they don't get the light right or whatever, take it at a weird angle. I was like, the fuck, she doesn't look like that. I was like, she's so fucking like, this energy, this beauty came in. I was like, holy shit. And unbeknown to me, she was thinking the same thing about me, that I was hot or whatever. And anyway, I had this bowl of chicken and rice. She came over because I was training. I was only weight training then. I got into weight training. I'd only been doing that a few years. And she was like, oh, who made that? Your mum? I was like, what? My mum? And then she was like, oh, what, your girlfriend? I was like, no, I'm single. And that was her way of finding out. Anyway, nothing happened that day. Went our separate ways. That was it. 2 months later, I was either going to see my friends. I was going to a wedding, going to see my friends in town who were doing another music video, or my parents that day, they were in town. So I was like, oh, I'll go and see my mates. Went and saw my mates, and Bev's video commissioner was on that shoot. And she came running up to me. Oh my God, Beverley Knight really likes you. And I was like, oh yeah, because I thought my mates, because I told my mates that I was chatting to Bev and I was like getting on really well. I thought they were winding me up. So I went, all right, love you. I went, yeah, get my number off one of the boys, yeah, get her to give me a call. And I went, and she did text me. And that was it. 18 years ago.
No way.
18 years, bro.
She's been with you through a lot of your highs, lows, and trials and tribulations.
There's a lot of shit I hid from her, like the real. There's stuff. In all of this, there's some pretty dark shit that went on as well that I haven't talked about, and that we'll get into it. But some of the stuff I hid from her, you know. But yeah, she's been through. The thing was, for me, my journey, I thought all the bad shit happened. In my 30s, I thought, I'm free, I'm done, I'm out of it. This is, life's golden now. Nah. Life came and fucking went, we're not done with you yet, son. We're not done with you. You're going to learn everything that you need to learn in these fucking 20 years. You're going to have to go into every depth of your soul to find the strength to keep going, because we're going to keep coming for you.
I could probably guess the answer to this already, mate, but with everything that you've been through, would you change any of it?
Not because of the person I am today, no. But could I do without some of it? Fuck yeah. Do you know what I mean?
If you had 600 grand sat in the bank account, that would be one.
I mean, I don't know about that. I think I know I needed it. So this is the thing. Did I want it? No. Did I need it? This is the thing. Life usually gives us not what we want, but what we need. And if the issue is, if we're always wanting, then it will often give us what we need. And it's for us then to work out where the gold is in that. And that's my work I do as well. My coaching and my, everything I talk about is finding the gold in the shit. And sometimes you have to sift through that shit for years. I mean, years. But that shit is our shit. And if we can kind of let go of thinking that it's other people's shit and that the gold is in there, then we're all right. We will be okay. We just have to, and I don't use have to much, but we have to work that out for ourselves, what that means and what part, what that journey means to us. That's what I see. But so no, I wouldn't change it, because I wouldn't be the person I am, and I love who I am. I love what I'm doing. Wow, I just said I love who I am. Fucking hell, mate. That's maybe the first time I've ever said that.
Really?
Yeah.
What a moment.
Wow. Okay. Because I hated myself.
I think it's so important, though, James, to tell the story, because people will see you now and they will think... they just won't know all the trials, tribulations and things that you had to go through to get to the man that sits here today. And that's why I think it's so important, because so many people out there are struggling. So to paint the full picture of, this is the journey. That's what I think, these conversations, that's where the value is. It's where it holds because it generally comes into, the downs. I've been through this, and now. There's not really people that have sat here with me that are still going through struggles. Tends to be after they've been through, and people will still experience more. All of us, life's going to keep hitting us.
100%.
But that's where the value is, mate. I think seeing that transformation where people can resonate, because there'll be people that will listen and be like, yeah, every weekend I'm on it. I've got the bag in. I've got this. Yes, I owe this person that, or And to hear somebody that's been there, been to that, and now sits with me, with that positivity, somebody that can sit there. I couldn't say what you just said.
Thank you.
I couldn't say I love myself and mean it.
I know. I didn't even know that I could. I didn't know I could. Mate, I was told I was nothing when I was young. I was fat when I was young. I was little. I was shit. I wasn't very good at anything. I didn't have anything that stood out that was fucking incredible about me. I thought I was nothing. I had no money. I had an alcoholic dad. I got kicked out when I was 15 and a half. Fucking, what do we? Let's keep going. My dad died. I got no qualifications. I got told I was shit. I was useless. My mum was the only one who told me I could do what I want. But then she kicked me out at 15 and a half. So I hated her. So, it was all... But what I realise now is that she gave me... And this is where we've got to be very careful, I believe, of hating the person that gave us the best lesson we've ever had. And the best lesson she ever taught me was get out of my coattails and become a man. And I didn't realise it, but I realise it now working with men. And I realise it now that I see little boys. I work with lost boys still, because most of us are still lost boys. Because I'll tell you a perfect example. I was working with a guy. I met him. We went back to his mother's house where his kids were, because he was divorced, obviously. So his mum was looking after his kids, right, while he's off doing whatever. It's already an issue. I then witnessed him turn into the 15-year-old him with his mum. And I see it so much with men. We're still using our mums to soothe us, to look after our kids, to do this, to do that. And then we fucking kick off at them because they're controlling our lives, or are this or are that. Or we think they're like getting too much involved. We're oversharing with them. Men, so I'm going to give another really beautiful bit of advice that this men will change your life. Stop sharing shit with your mum about your partner. Stop it.
Completely agree, man.
Do not, particularly at the start of a relationship, do not do it. Now, you might be lucky that your mum is one of them women that can just let that be okay and they can love them, whatever. But most mums, it's not their fault, because you are their fucking everything. If there is a problem, they will fight hammer and nail for you. They'll protect you. So if something's wrong with a relationship, they want to fight. So that if you come home and say, oh, my missus, she's doing this and she's doing that, it's your opinion. Your mum's not getting the whole view. She's getting your opinion. She's going to believe it. So she'll then have a negative view on that woman, who then becomes your wife. Think about that. You then wonder why your mum doesn't get on with your girlfriend or your wife or your blah, blah. You've done it. Again, ownership, accountability. We don't do it. We blame. We go, oh, my wife's an idiot, or my mum's a this, or my... Get to the mirror, fucking look at yourself and ask yourself. But we don't. And that's what I want us men to do, because we will be better versions. Because I tell you why. Because our lives will become so easy. My life with my wife is so easy when I fucking am not a knob. Genuinely. The better I've become, the better my relationship is. My wife's not... I don't care whether my wife's changed or not. I don't care. I don't try and get her to do all the shit I'm doing. I do some things, and I can be a little pushy still. It's just how I am. But I'm working on myself to become the better version, to not be so pushy or controlling or whatever. But I work on myself to work on myself, not for then someone else to be the thing that I want them to be. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So yeah. I say, work on yourself to make your life, again, the better I can be, the better my life is. So it comes back to that. It's not selfless.
Yeah,
it's not selfless.
Yeah.
It's fully selfish. I want my life to be as easy as possible. So I treat everyone I can with the utmost love, kindness, care, whatever. Sometimes I'm still an idiot because I'm an idiot man. It's okay. But it's the way we deal with it afterwards and, you know, and in the moment. Like if my wife says something, which very rare does she, but I'm still a wounded little boy. There's still a little part of that. My inner child is still 14, that when my dad got burgled and, you know, I couldn't do anything about it. I felt defenseless. It's another big thing we don't talk about is our inner child. The first moment that we felt helpless as a man, as a boy, we hold on to that. And we usually act from that place. That's our inner child work that I do some of as well. And we do at my retreats. But we're not that anymore. We hold on to that emotion. We fight from that. So my little boy was that, you know, that. And so when my wife or someone, whoever it is, says something and it triggers that little boy, I then trigger that. So now I realise I don't need to do that. And I apply the 4 rules, the first 4, just fucking breathe, take ownership, leave your ego at the door and be present. I realise all of them and I wait until the next day. And then my wife, I go to her when we're in a neutral zone and I say, baby, this is on me. I know that you didn't mean it in this way, but I've taken it because I've still got an issue from the past and blah, 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 blah. But that thing when we were in the car and you said that, it really made me feel, oh my God, I didn't mean that. And blah, I know you didn't. I'm so, boom, love, done.
It's that communication, mate, though, is so...
Or we go 2 days
so
without
important.
Talking to them, or we kick off. You fucking what? You said, why did you say that? We think we've been hurt, wounded, you know, violated. That then goes on. What that happens over and over, especially if we call them a name, another killer bit of advice, never call your wife a name. Never call her a name. Because the moment you do, the respect starts to dwindle. And I know we've done it. I get it. I know I'm lucky. I've never called my wife a name in 18 years.
Yeah. Do you know what, mate? I'm on my second marriage.
All right. Nice, mate.
But
well
yeah,
done.
second time round, we're approaching 10 years.
Nice.
And I can honestly say the same, mate. I've never
and I've not, it's
never
not
even
like
wanted to.
But it's not that I haven't said shit that that doesn't upset her or like cause a problem.
Of course, yeah.
But I've never said you fucking mug or you twat or you know, I've never done that.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful to myself. I don't know why, because every other relationship I have. And I cheated on everyone, but I didn't. So, like, a leopard can change its spots. I'm telling you. Don't believe it. It's the story that we're holding on to. This is what I want. I really want to spread the message. And some of this might think that I'm being out of order towards us men or like in general, but I'm not. I'm trying to give us power and strength and positivity and abundance to go, I can be different. I choose different. I choose a different version of myself, and it makes our life better, not worse, because we give up drinking or drugs or being violent or whatever. It makes our life better. No one likes that life. You know it. You were like that, not drugs. Obviously, I was like it. Everyone I know who's like that is tired of it. We get tired in here. So let it go.
There's so much power in you doing that, though, James, honestly. And that's why it's so important that you do things like this. Because you've got that experience, the lived experience, the knowledge. And I think one of the things that's important, because we talk about like selflessness and selfishness, is to get out there that being selfish is not a bad thing. There is such thing as being healthily selfish. Because if I'm selfish towards me and I create the best version of myself, the happiest version of myself, everyone in my family benefits from that. And that's through me being selfish and wanting to be the best that I can be. Because why is it wrong that we turn around and go, I want to be as happy as I possibly can? Why is it wrong that selfishness has got this sort of like aura around it of, no, that means that you don't care about anyone else. Being selfish means you only care about you.
Self. Let's break the word down. Self-ish. Ish. If I say, oh yeah, you know, like I'm feeling a bit, you know, it's ish. Like that's like it's a little bit, right? So I'm self a little bit. So is it a bad thing? And that's how I often break words down. Self-ish. Meh. So I'm self. I care about myself, but kind of, you know, but I want to do better for like, see what I mean? It's that ish bit of it.
It's the thing, isn't it? As I say, it's not that you don't care about anybody else, but you do care about yourself, which if you reflect on the word selfless, is that a good thing?
Right.
To be selfless.
Selfless.
Yeah.
So you're being, this is where we get mixed up. This is why people pleasers get so unhappy. A lot of women that I work with, clients, people pleasers badly, and they end up burnt out, depressed, like on the brink of, you know, like not wanting a beer as well. Not as much as men, but that's people pleasing. And what that does, this is where the slight difference of men and women. Men often have the ego thing. Women have but they need me. And that is like an insidious ego thing. It's like a creepy ego thing because they need me. I'm doing good. I'm like, you know, I'm looking after everyone. I'm a good person. Yeah. But then they don't realize that they're doing it for validation. And the more validation they get, even if it's negative, this is where it's really mental, that even negative validation validates us. Let me say that again. Even negative validation validates us. So if we're doing something like, if we're doing...
Let's pause there a moment to thank this episode's sponsors, Q1. Q1 are a premium masking solution. They offer the ultimate choice for professionals that demand perfection. Whatever you're painting, Q1 tapes deliver clean, sharp lines every time. Q1 tapes are designed for superior adhesion and easy removal, leaving no residue behind. We use Q1 tapes in our business all the time, on every job. In addition to the painter's tapes, Q1 offer a range of surface protection technology, solutions and accessories. You can cover things like worktops, hard floor and kitchen units with a range of Q1 protections. Using Q1, your projects are going to look professional and the results will speak for themselves. Q1 is available at all of your favourite stores and online at q1tapes.com. Thank you to Q1 for supporting the Talking Tradesman podcast and helping us raise mental health awareness in the industry. Let's get back to the episode.
Something that makes us feel shit, we're still getting a chemical reaction. So it's still making us feel something. Feeling something's better than feeling nothing. So if we're empty, but we're doing coke, it's making us feel shit, but it's still something better than nothing. So it's that validation. So replace that with not getting validation from something else, but from yourself by doing the things that make you feel nourished. That's and it's tiny little wins along the way. That's the only way I've got out of what I was doing to where I am now, which is not even anywhere near the potential of what I feel like I'm able. And I'm not saying that I don't still have my bad days. Of course, I'm a human being. I can go some days I'm not doing enough. I'm not worthwhile enough yet. But I always spin it and go, yet. I always add a word. And that's how I work with clients and do stuff with people is go, just add a word.
So in terms of what you now do then, James, so do you do one-to-one coaching as well? Because obviously I've seen the Unguarded Warrior retreats, which, like I say, look epic.
Thanks,
so
brother.
For anyone that hasn't already, go and check out. In fact, we'll do that bit now.
Okay.
So where can everyone find you and what you do, James?
So I run Unguarded Warrior, which has been a men's mental health and wellness retreats and experiences and events. That's really what I do. I do other stuff with some other people. I've got 2 events coming up that maybe we'll put on somewhere that they can find.
Yeah, of course,
they can do. So we've got a day retreat, which is a cheaper price, like £100, day retreat, and then we've got a weekend retreat again, but a little bit different. It's a bit more outdoorsy. You called it Run Wild, to be a little bit more wild. And I'm doing it with 2 other incredible men who do similar to what I do. So we're kind of joining forces, and that's in Wales, in Snowdonia.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
beautiful.
so it's going to be incredible.
Places,
in December.
Cold.
This next one, but that's the whole point of it, to get to rewild, to get out of our comfort zone a little bit. That's where we get the most growth. So that's actually a mixed one. So it's men and women. Okay. Yeah. So if there's any women out there want to come and experience that, it's going to be really powerful. So that's one side of what I do. I also, I do one-on-one coaching. I'll be honest with you, it's not cheap. So what I have done is created an online coaching program, and it's called Beyond the Ordinary. And it's a monthly program that you sign up for 3 months. I'm not accepting anyone just do it monthly. You have to do 3 months, because it's not enough just to go, I'll try it, dip my toe in 1 month. And it's basically all the stuff I've talked about. Again, I'm an Oxygen Advantage breathwork coach, so it's a lot of breathwork in there. When I say breathwork, it's not all this woo-woo breathwork. It's managing our emotions through our breath, breathing properly into our rib cage, managing our emotions through our breath. That's the first port of call. So it all starts with that, managing our emotions. It's for business owners, founders, people on their own, like us. You're in your kitchen, you're on building site, you've got blokes working, whatever it is, you've got a lot going on. It's daily habits that you can incorporate into your daily life. That you don't have to go and meditate on a mountain for 7 hours a day. You can literally just put these little tools and techniques and things, but it's on your phone as well. So you can just go, oh, boom, I've won today, I've done this. And so, yeah, it's beyond the ordinary. And it's what I wish I had. So it's all of my experience, loads of science-backed things, biohacking things, sleep, morning routine. Oh, mate, there's so much. There's nutrition, wellness, workouts, the whole lot. And it's my 7 rules on there. It's got everything. It's as comprehensive as you can get. And yeah, so that's my big thing that I'm putting out there to the world. Again, I'm selling what I do, because if I don't put it out there, everything, and this is where I think about it, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm 100% sorted, or got no issues, or I don't have things come up, but they don't bother me like they used to, because I've got the tools. You don't go on a building site and you don't start drilling, through a wall with a fucking screwdriver, do you? You know what I mean? Or a piece of cheese. You don't get a piece of cheese and try and stick it in the wall. You get a hammer drill. So why are you gonna go through life with the wrong tool for the wrong job? And men, we usually use anger for all of the jobs. Instead of, I might need to use a little bit of discernment, or I might need to just hold back here and use my breath work that I've learned, or I might need to have slept a bit better so I can have more energy, so I feel better. I might need to master this to be a bit better at that. And that's what beyond the ordinary is. It's use the right tool for the right job.
Yeah, that analogy I've used myself a few times, because one of the things I like to touch on, and I'll ask you the question.
Please.
Do you hold guilt, or have you forgiven yourself for the person that you once were?
100%. And I'm actually grateful for that person. What I'm not grateful for is what I put other people through. I'd never say I'm grateful for that and I'm happy about that, because I'm not. I'm not happy with that. But that wasn't me. It was a scared little boy of me. Yeah. It was the scared little boy version of me. And my goal in life now is to make people feel safe around me. That's it. Not because I'm a people pleaser, because I just want everyone to become less upregulated. And if I can help that in some way, and because I never used to feel safe, so I always used to I used to feel unsafe in every situation. So I would feel imposter syndrome, I would feel threatened, I would feel whatever it was, insecure, less than, little, whatever bullshit I'd tell myself, not as smart, whatever, in any situation. And when I started to have safety in myself, that's when everything changed. When I started to trust myself, I now trust the environment completely, not because I trust what might not happen, I trust what my response will be. That's the key, Russ. It's not like I haven't got to worry about the tiger around the corner, because if there's a tiger around the corner, I'll be all right, because I'll manage my emotions and responses to that tiger. Not that I've got to think I've got to wear a shield and go around the thing with a shield and a gun.
I'm with you, yeah.
To just in case the tiger's there. That doesn't make sense, because I'd be walking, I'd go around every corner with a shield and a gun. That ain't going to work. I've tried that. Mate. I've tried some really dark shit to protect myself.
The reason I asked that question, mate, is because I've sat down with quite a few people that have been through some really dark times and, circumstances that have been pretty rough. And a lot of people do hold that, I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And they sort of then try to project positivity to try and make amends for previous actions. But the toolbox analogy is something that I refer to, in that a lot of us, myself included, when I was younger, I look at some of the actions the way that I was in my 20s, in my 30s. It's stuff that I'd never dream of doing there, stuff that I'm not proud of, but I've forgiven that version of me, because that version of me had that toolbox that only had a hammer. That was all that was in the toolbox, because it was the only thing I'd ever been given, the only thing I'd ever been shown how to use. One thing, one hammer, anger and aggression. That was it.
That'll work.
As I've now grown older and done that work on myself, realised I needed to do that work on myself, and I've got a more, not a full toolbox, but a more comprehensive toolbox. And I can now react to situations with a different set of tools.
Or respond.
With the right tools, hopefully.
Yeah.
So I look back at the previous version of me, and there's that forgiveness of, well, what else could I have done? I wasn't aware of a lot of the things that I am now.
Yeah.
And the guidance I was given or not given right from childhood was not there.
The mad thing is, like, the very difficult thing to comprehend is that everything we do is a choice. It's a very, 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 very difficult thing to own up to, is that everything we do has we choose whether to or not to. And it's a difficult realization, because it means we have to take full accountability of our life. And that sucks. That sucks, excuse my French, dick. Because it means that we then have to take ownership of all the good and all the bad. We love taking the good, because, look at what I've done. Yeah, I'm a self-made millionaire. Yeah. But am I an alcoholic or a drug addict or a violent person or just a horrible person? We don't like that side, because that's the shadow. That's the shadow work. That is where we don't want to go. We don't want to feel that. So we let the other one shine light brighter, and then we do things to then soothe that other area. We keep it numbed. We keep it away. Let's not talk about the shadows. And that is where I think we're going again viciously wrong, because we want to open up and let our shadows come out and talk about it. Talk about the darkness. Because honestly, it's just a story as well. It's just a program that we're holding on to. It's not real. It's not real. And all of what I've just said, again, it's just a story. I could sit here and tell you a million stories till we're blue in the face. I don't know if they happened like that. I really don't. I don't know if my whole life happened like that. Because, Russ, what happened to you 3 weeks ago on Thursday at 7:15?
Yeah, no idea, mate.
I couldn't
tell you what happened today at 1 o'clock.
So I can hold on to the emotion of that thing.
Yeah.
And maybe it did happen the way I remembered it. Maybe it didn't. And what if there were 10 other people there? How would they remember it? Just like growing up in the same family. What's their version of how we grew up? Completely different, right? So who says that we're right? And even if we are right, so what? How long are you going to carry that big bag of shit? Yeah. And how long are you going to let it weigh you down? I'll tell you on that, a funny story. So on one of my retreats, a thing I did, and you can take this, anyone take this, because it's a really cool exercise to do. I do this thing where we create the container. It's really powerful. You get everyone together, and it locks us in, because then it just allows you to, that's your tribe for the weekend. And, anyway, after that, I'm like, right, come on, we're going to go and get our partners for the weekend. Everyone's like, what? Didn't know it was that kind of retreat. Right? And we all walk over, and we walk over to a big pile of logs. Someone, we do a lot of log chopping and stuff, things that are like old school stuff we do, Anyway, I'm like, okay, so this is your this pile of logs, and I'm like, so I'd love for you to your baggage. So I'd love everyone to just close their eyes and think of your baggage that you're holding on to in your life. Okay, so everyone did that. I'm like, and now open your eyes and go and get that piece of baggage. So they went, and some picked, a smaller log. Some went and picked a massive tree trunk, and cool. Everyone happy with that? Yeah. Some, because some of us hold, like some in bad ways, others not so much, So some people have a little log, some people have a tree trunk. Yeah. I'm like, okay, so now you have to carry your baggage around for the whole weekend. You have to sleep with it. You have to go to the toilet with it. You have to shower with it. You have to go on these 8-mile hike that we're going to do with it. Everyone was like, what I could visibly see everyone like, that's your baggage. Went for the walks, did the thing. Saturday night, we chopped them up, threw them on the fire, okay? And I asked everyone, was that really your baggage? And they're like, no. That is fucking how powerful stories are. The power that we told ourselves that we're holding on to, the anger that we're holding on to. Is it anger, or is it just frustration at ourselves? Or are we just like victim? Are we feeling something? Are we really, is that the truth? I would argue always to look at that. The best thing my alcoholic dad ever told me, that one thing that I hold on to, he said 3 sides to every story: yours, mine, and the truth. And I believe the truth is from there to there. And I'll die believing that, again, with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, no, mate. Yeah, I 100% agree with everything that you've just said. It's the mind is such a fascinating thing, because our entire reality, our existence, lives within our mind. You know, if you were to genuinely 1000% believe that the sky was purple and the floor was green, then it is. So having control over your thoughts, your feelings, and your state of mind, the power in that is the power that defines how you're going to live your life, whether it's going to be a net positive or net negative. There's no such thing as permanent happiness. It does not exist. Me personally, I don't believe it can, because we're all human.
I agree.
We're wired in a certain way, and the most stoic of people will get irritated. You know, you've had a bad night's sleep and you stub your toe in the morning. You don't go, oh, never mind. Like,
on that, I agree with you 100%. Beautifully put. My analogy in that is, are you let's hypothetical, are you happy 24 hours a day? No. Is light around 24 hours a day? Okay, in some places it is, but let's not. You know, is up, are you always up? No. Okay, so there's going to be the other side of whatever we're talking about. So if we're talking about happiness, so it's fleeting, it comes and goes, it's around. So if we're chasing happiness, we're like that. We can't ever grasp it fully and hold on to it. So for me, I just let it float, and I go, I'm content with where I am right now. If I can have contentedness as my friend and my comrade along the journey, I'm going to be all right. Happiness is going to be floating there, and some days I'm going to feel incredibly happy. And then if I can bring in some tools, what I do on on my program and stuff, build in the daily tools, the gratitude, the this, the that, the eating right, the bloom, the thing, the positive mindset, the community. You know, that's another thing, massive. That's what I'm building. It's a community-based app, so you can ask for help, and so you bring all that in, then you've got something. Then you've got a system, a blueprint. And then you're not chasing something. You're not trying to numb stuff. You're not trying to hide away from the shadow work and the shadows and I don't like that version of me, because you start to do the little things every day. And that's how I become, clearly, now I do really respect and love myself. Not because I'm the finished version. No way. It's like martial arts when, I'll never be the finished version. Yeah. Even if I'm a black belt, there's a black belt stripe and this, that, you never stop. Same as working on yourself. It's like martial arts. You never, ever, ever stop. You don't go, well, I'm all right. I've done it. The second you do that, the second I say I'm sorted, then you've got permission to cancel me, like genuinely. And that's the day that I give it all up, because I'll never, ever have it worked out.
I don't think anybody ever does, mate. The battle is, life changes all the time. You have to deal with different things all the time, so you have to constantly evolve to deal with those different things. You're going to get older, you're going to lose people. That's life. You've got to deal with adversities. As you said, you're not in control of other people. You're not responsible for other people.
You can only manage your emotions and responses to what goes on.
To the event, yeah.
Exactly. And if someone dies, this is where I think we've gone a little bit wrong as well with social media and everything. If you're not overreacting about something, it means you don't care. Go back to,
Epictetus.
I get that wrong sometimes. And, you know,
I think
Marcus
there was an
Aurelius
Epicurus as well.
Yeah, I was going to say Epicurus.
I'm sure
So Epicurus. So all of those guys, Marcus Aurelius. It's the Stoics. You don't care less what it is actually. If everything's going off, and you can stay calm while everyone's shouting and running around, who's going to deal with it better? Like that for me is the key. I don't want to be running around flapping, going, because I can't deal with it properly. If something happens on site, you know, something goes wrong. If you're just going, you know, then you're not dealing with it. If you can just go, first four things, first four rules, boom. Okay, let me think of the solution. And if we're not trained like that, if we're just going, the problem's here, and if we're going, okay, this happened, what's the solution? What are the three things I can do? That's what makes a good tradesman. What makes a great tradesman, actually, is someone who can preempt but already know what they would do if the situation arises. When I was doing property, I used to have the tradesmen come to me and they'd say, we can't do this because of this, that, and the other. And I'd be like, I'm not a plumber, and I can come and look at it and tell you where to reroute that. So I'm not a plumber. So what I'd like you to do next time is, please, if you need to come to me and it's going to take you longer, if something's wrong, come to me with the solution. 2 options. And then I can say, I'll pay you more, or we'll just or this is the decision. Don't come to me and say, mate, I can't do this because of this, that, and the other. Don't do that. Think of already 2 issues or 2 ways you can solve the problem.
I love that, mate, because in my company, with my business, the lads that have worked for me all get to know it, because eventually it gets in through their heads. They come to me with exactly that. Mate, I can't do that because my response is always the same: give me the solution.
It's such a skill, especially for young people. Just give yourself the breath, think, go ask yourself the question. And what the issue is because the tricky thing is, and I've seen it with really high level people, right? When I'm doing something, when I'm taking charge, like let's say I'm doing a job and someone really high level is next to me, they switch off. They don't think like, I'll hand them the this or I'll hand them the that because they're going to want that. They switch off and they're just there. And because human beings, we do it. Someone takes control, the others follow. We're designed for that. But when you're on a building site or you're doing something like that, think 3 steps, like jiu-jitsu, like martial arts. I'm thinking, if someone's doing something to me, I'm thinking what I do to them and then what they're going to do to me and then how I can counter it.
Yeah.
Same as in chess. If you can learn that as a skill, especially young people, if you can learn that as a skill, you will be so valued. You will add value. And that's the key in life. How can I add value to the situation or the person or the whatever? And what that'll happen is you'll get taken from that to that very quick. If you got someone come to you and go, Russ, this is a problem, but I've worked out if we reroute it, actually I'll save you a bit of money then, mate. You'd be like, fucking what? Go on, son.
Yeah.
Next week you'll be the site foreman. Then you'll be like, go and do that job for me. And then you'll be up in pay. You'll be, but we don't. We think we're just there to be wage slaves or, no, he's paying me, so it's all right.
It's a mindset thing as well, James, because I think it translates into life. It's the looking for closed doors, looking for the roadblocks and the reasons why not. Look for the road closed signs. Well, I couldn't get there because the road was closed. Well, what about the diversion, the other 3 ways you could have got to that destination? And it translates from work into, personal life, like you said. Well, people that are struggling and in depression and dark places and they know that they feel like crap, the first thing they should do is evaluate what's going on around them. Are they eating and drinking healthily? Are they drinking? Are they misusing substances? Are they sleeping? All these things that you can then pick apart one by one to find the solution to the issue. But a lot of people just stop at that first,
Well, because that's the inner work, actually. Like what you just said there, you said it, but it's actually, we went outward. Go inward. That's the only thing I would slightly say to tweak. Because if we look at around us, we're going to find issues with what's around us. Go inward. Ask, what am I putting in me? What am I nourishing myself with? What am I blah, 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 blah? Because if we look around and we go, oh, well, it's my friends. They're making me feel like this. Oh, no, it's where I live. It's this, it's that. No, it isn't. It isn't. It's in here and it's in here. That's what's causing the issue. Yes, there might be some things going on around us, but we can change that by either, like I had to, move away, step away.
Big step.
It's a big step. But if I didn't, I'd have been, I nearly went to prison anyway. So, you know, and I was fucking, the stuff I was doing, running drugs around, and I had fucking a Sierra with 5,000 pills in the back. Imagine getting done for that at 20. I nearly, mate, and this is how mad it was. I nearly did drug smuggling to get money. Like so close, because I thought, oh, I need money. It's just something, again, each time there's something that is just, I've done some really stupid things, but each time that when there's been big moments, there's something that's just pulled me back, you know. And then how I explain that to people I work with, men or women, we've got this voice, this light inside of us, all of us. It's the innate knowing of what we have got to be and how we want to be. It's innate in us. It's just, it is. But what happens is we get programmed and we get all these other noises and stories, and it clouds us, and we can't see that light. We can't hear it anymore. We can't hear anything. Then we numb it. We drink, drugs, porn, violence, you know, whatever it is. Work's a classic, because it's like, well, no, I'm providing. I'm, you know, just as bad as all the other ones if we're not doing it in the right way, if we're not with the right energy with it. So we then cloud all these thoughts and fit, you know, this voice, and then we get to my age and we don't know who we are, because we've lost that knowing, and we then listen to everyone else, and then we blame everyone else when it goes wrong. It's a really insidious cycle of what goes on. If we just go, let me let go of some of that noise. Let me let go of the clouds. Let me do a bit of inner work. Let me do some stuff that nourishes me. Let me do the little things every day. You know, let me sleep properly. Let me boom, 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 boom. Suddenly the clouds clear and the voice comes back, and we can hear it, and we can know what to do on the first instance, not be clouded by someone else's view, a parent, a friend, a boyfriend, a husband, a wife, an overbearing mum or dad, or whatever it is. And let it go.
You said something earlier that is something to reiterate. It's very important. It's a journey, and it's a one step at a time, small incremental goals. You're not going to go from complete darkness to light in this, you know, there's no secret recipe book where you go, oh, just change this, and this, and now I'm fixed. It's such a long journey, but incrementally it gets better and better and better. So just taking that responsibility. If you're struggling, evaluating what's going on, like you said, evaluating what you're putting in and making small changes will incrementally improve your life.
So Tony Robbins does something, and it's really, really interesting. It's incredible as well. If people don't know who Tony Robbins is, then you've maybe living under a rock. He's like the biggest personal development guy in the world. And he's gone at, like, you know, let's be real, he's gone a little bit like, but then, you know, you get to that point, you are God, you know what I mean? And yeah, it is what it is, but he's still incredible. And he does this thing where he will get someone to instantly think of something that makes them feel sad. So you just right now, I tell you to feel something that makes you feel sad. Yeah. Okay. Now, think of something that makes you feel happy. A moment in your life. Mm-hmm. So you've just changed your state of how you feel in a second. Why does it have to be hard? Why does it have to be a 20-year journey? Mm-hmm. Why? Is it, and this is what I now have taken on from that, is it because we tell ourselves it's hard that it is hard? Is it because I constantly tell myself I'm from that family, I'm not lucky? Is it because I constantly tell myself I'm no good, I'm little, I'm this, I'm not tough, I'm poor, or is it because I am or I'm not?
Good point.
Because I get it all the time. I just want to eat healthily. I really want to. I need to. This is fucking my pet hate word. I need to eat healthy. I need to. But it's just so hard. Are you going to be able to do it? No. If you say, I need to do this, but go to the mirror and give yourself a slap round the face. No, don't. But go to the mirror and tell yourself, I am enough. I am bold. I am brave. I am beautiful. Go and do that in the morning. In fact, go and do that. That's something we do at the retreats as well. Go and look in the mirror. That's something I stole from someone as well, which I like to. I mean, I'm just repurposing it, right?
That's learning.
Yeah,
that's
I'm repurposing. Yeah. So I'm beautiful. I am bold. I am brave. I am enough. And then pretend high five yourself in the mirror. You can't help but smile. You release oxytocin by doing that. And this is like it goes back millennia of it's a positive affirmation. It's a positive, and we release oxytocin. So it's a chemical reaction. So in the morning, you do that first thing in the mirror. I am bold. I am brave. I am beautiful. I am enough. Like that. I didn't even mean to smile then. It's just hardwired in us. And that's from Mel Robbins. And it just, these little things sound woo-woo and weird and shit.
Mel Robbins, the let them theory, wasn't it?
But if you're in a dark place, fucking what does it matter? Why wouldn't you try that? Oh, I know. Well, let's try what doesn't work. Pills, fucking getting on the coke, fucking shouting at your wife. Let's try all of the things that don't work, shall we? Well, why don't we try some shit that might work? And it might take a bit of time. And tell yourself, I'm not good enough yet. Change one word. And that's what I do. I just get people to rewire themselves, really, really small little incremental changes over a little period of time, with a better mindset, with some better eating habits and a bit of this and a bit of that, and putting it all into their regular life. You're only going to win.
Such powerful insights, mate. I'm sat here wondering, what was because we've gone from the chaos with you.
Yeah.
And then almost like this 180, because this person that sits behind me now with the wisdom and the insights and all of this, how did that happen? How did it just go from seemingly black to white? And was there a pivotal moment? Was there a teacher? Was there a James O'Keefe in your life that you met?
No one. I had no one. I've had mentors, and my wife's been an amazing mentor, and a light, a guide to teach me to be a good man, teach me to respect women. Her mum, her sister, incredible women. I didn't respect women till I met them at 30, 31. I didn't respect women. She's been an incredible teacher. For me, it's been the hardships. They've taught me, and the big shift, which is the kind of doozy that I haven't talked about yet, is that I had gangsters try and extort money from me. I had a phone call one night, a really horrible voice of a guy, so-and-so from Tilbury Docks or somewhere like that, and wanted 100 grand from me, or, they were going to kidnap me and torture me and stuff. So that kind of went on for a little while. It was when I had the gym.
What was the backstory to that, James?
Just came.
Just a random phone call?
Honestly, one night. I wasn't doing anything shady. I was having my gym, and I was around some, maybe, I don't know what they were doing, but I wasn't. I was on the straight and narrow. I was normal business, trying to be a good person.
So somebody somewhere
has
put them onto you and said, look, this guy's got some money, basically.
Yeah. And I then didn't go to the police because they said that they had police. And I did speak to someone, and they were like, we can't do anything until something happens. So until I was kidnapped, nothing can happen. What are they going to do? They can't put someone outside my house. They can't do anything like that. So they said they knew where I lived. They didn't say anything about Bev. They didn't do that yet. So that was really interesting. So I then chose to go another route with it. And I'm not going to share who I used to do that, but I went another route, and apparently it got sorted, and it cost me some money, and but I go back to manifestation, words we say, the way our energy is. I didn't ask for that phone call to come, but what did I do? I chose a path to go down. And that's the key. We don't always choose what jumps out on us. Okay. Like if I'm walking down the street, a lion might come out, but I do choose how I then respond to it. That's the only choice we have. Mm-hmm. Comes back to that thing. And that's my mantra. That's why I wholeheartedly believe that. Every situation has a possible different outcome because we can respond in a different way. So I responded in not a good way. I responded in still a bit shady, a geezer way. Like I'm a bit of a geezer. I was fighting. I was still holding on to that gangster vibe. So what did I say when I was young? I want to be a gangster. What happened? That's the path I took. Not that I was or I was trying to be, but I chose that kind of shady path. So then loads of stuff went on. Went away for a while, came back. Still, it was so stressful. I was fighting. I had a business. I was doing property. It was insane. I was so and this is where we carry so much of this stress and it takes us down. And then and I was so stressed. Like it was insane, working so hard, doing all this stuff. You take all this on. And then it came to a culmination. I was in the property one day, finishing off this house, and a lump came in, geezer, and I had a hammer in my hand again. It was like, and my choice, and he had the phone. He went, "Oh, so-and-so wants to speak to you." And it was them again. And I was like, do I just smash this geezer around the head? But then that adds another. Then I get arrested and go. So I'm like, it's all just conflicting. No, I was stressed. It was mental. Anyway, that came back, stressed, blah, 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 blah. I tried to deal with it again. Phone calls. I've still got text message on my phone from them.
The same thing. So these geezers turned up on site with the intention, again, they still want their money.
Yeah.
Right.
And someone that at the time had apparently helped me sort this out and was helping me deal with it. And anyway, went a couple of years, and I'd then subsequently given all that money away, right? Mm-hmm. So, but then it came back again. So I wanted to kill myself, nearly £1 million down, right? And then they came back and wanted 300 grand this time. I'm like, even what planet, anyway.
It's just a straight up, we want 300 grand or we get kidnapped, yeah?
Yeah, and torture you. So randomly, at the same time, I got burgled in the house I was then doing up. So I've done other properties, and I've turned our house into flats, and 3 flats, and I've done all sorts of different things, like you do in the trade. I've bought other houses and done them up, and I did the gym up. So I'm always going back to it, you know what I mean? And these skills help, but it came back again. It got really bad, like phone calls, and then this person was allegedly helping me. Then these other guys, these other gangsters that this guy knew, were then helping me. Good gangsters. This is fucking how mad it was. This is why it's all just mental. This whole life thing is just a story. So they were then helping me, and then I then one day driving back to my house, 2 guys on a bike pulled up, guns out, give us the money, literally straight in front of me, guns, the whole work. So I was so like, I'm not having this. I can't be a victim. I'm not gonna be someone's bitch. So what did I do? I went and got a gun. So I went and got a gun and a bulletproof vest, and I'm now running around London like that. Like genuinely, feel like I'm fucking, I don't know, Don Johnson or something. It was pathetic. So I'm now trigger point of something bad happening. So why the question you asked about what was the real turning point? I was in a car one night with these 2 guys who were allegedly going to help me, and then they were like, "Oh, but we need 50 grand to sort this." So I'm like, okay, so this is basically a double, so I think the whole thing was fabricated and put on me by someone who was, so there was a lot of shit going on. So they then were showing me this picture on their phone of a geezer they'd just sorted out, and it looked like he was lying on his kitchen floor with tomato ketchup on his top. And just there's some moments in life, and this is a pretty full-on story, I know, but I just was like, I just went, oh, this is pathetic. I just don't care anymore. And I got out of the car, and this is where, again, stories. I don't know if I walked home or drove home. I don't know what it is. Next day, I gave the gun back, and I promised myself. And then this is the shift. I promised myself, because my choice was I keep the gun. Someone comes at me, I shoot them. I get done. I go to prison. Right? I lose my life, everything. I didn't tell my wife, by the way, that I had this gun. She obviously knows now because fucking podcast. So, and like nothing can happen now because it is what it is. But. And this is why it's just a story. I don't hold on to it, because it's a freeing, releasing, because I've chosen to use it as a releasing story and to show you. And I want to show other men particularly that no matter how dark you think your life is, your world is, you can make a choice. And I made a choice, not because it was a choice to live rather than die. Because if I choose to shoot someone, to protect myself, to be the big tough guy, then I lose my life. So that makes it's a double negative. It doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. So I had to choose abundance, complete abundance. So the next day, I then opened an Instagram account called James O'Keefe NRG, which I still have to this day, which was 9 years ago. It's 9 years ago, mate. I had a gun and a bulletproof vest. Wow. Right. So I then was like, I'm going to choose abundance. I'm going to choose to put good words out, messages. I then created like an online coaching thing then, but I was too scared to carry it through. You know what I mean? That's why, I was still, my phone, even now to this day, is still on silent all the time. Because there's still a little tiny bit, that I don't like my phone ringing at night. It makes me feel still a little bit weird. So that, it's a little hangover. We still have little hangovers and stuff. Not that I believe it, but I don't know if it could come back. It might. But I've chosen abundance. I've chosen to live my life to the fullest, to put myself out there, to spread a message that you don't have to be the version of you that they say you are, or they're trying to make you, or they think you should be, or you think you should be. That is my whole message, and everything I do, my coaching, my program, is all about love and kindness, abundance, boundaries. I don't look over my shoulder anymore. I stopped doing it. I'm like, fuck it. Excuse my French, whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to live my life like that, because I'm not living. They won. If I do that, they won. And I'm not going to let them win.
So when you chose to walk away from that situation, did it fizzle out? Did they continue to push the...
Yeah, I got them. Mate, the last message is ridiculous. It's just like, we'll get you. You'll be walking in your house one day and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm done. I just don't care. Fucking whatever. And even saying it now, it could come. It could. But it could happen to any of us. Anything could happen to any of us. Yeah, and I haven't even got them. Like, that's the mad thing. I haven't even got that money. If you do want money, don't come to me for it. You're a fucking idiot. You'll have to kidnap me because I don't have it. But I can't go my whole life worrying about that. I can't, because they've got me. They've killed me.
Yeah.
I'd rather live a day.
A knife edge moment, mate. Because, you could have... There's a whole myriad of things that could have happened there. But it does sound a bit like it was potentially somebody that knew you, that it was orchestrated. We can double bluff this, get him to pay us to protect him and help him rather than him paying for... Yeah, there's a whole... I guess you'll never know the truth.
And what you've just said there, is often the thing that kills us, because we're searching for the truth. But the work I've done to realise there's three sides to every story, I don't know. Maybe I didn't remember it properly. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did do something. I don't know. But I don't care. Like, I just don't care. Maybe it wasn't what I thought it was. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was really a thing or whatever. I just don't care. What does it matter? Why do I need to know? What's it going to change? And this is what the work I've had to do, that I chose to do. What will it change if I know or I don't know or whatever? What difference in my life is it going to make? Luckily, I've managed to meet some people who know some people, and luckily they're good people. And I think having them around me at the time helped to let the other person, people, whoever know that it's not, so, and it's not like jumping out of the frying pan into the fire, but it's when some people know that some people have got your back, they don't want that. So that helped as well. But ultimately it's choosing the fact that I can't be taken over by that, because they've won and I've lost, and I live my life like that. And that's why that's why I'm open about it. And that's why I want everyone to know that you can go from the absolute darkest of dark to the lightest of light. And I know that because I've done it. And I'm not saying I'm this, again, this Zen guru, incredible being that can fix anything and all. I just know that I have come from the darkest of dark places, and I've never felt better in my life, ever. And it's not because I'm rich or I'm this or I'm that, or you've got an easy life. And no, it isn't. My life, mate, the coaching thing I'm doing, putting myself out there on Instagram and stuff, fucking kills me. It's so hard. It's so hard. Doing this stuff is still difficult. Talking on stages, doing events is so difficult. Putting myself out there to fail, to not get 100 people at my talk or this or event, or it's so hard. The ego, the wound, and it's so hard. But fucking,
the way I see it, mate, is if I'm in that position where I'm looking for somebody that I can take value from, it's someone like you. Because
well, thank you, mate.
It would be the person that's walked the path. It's that thing, isn't it? If you were at the base of Everest and you had two guides there, one that's done a master's degree, a doctorate and everything in climbing the mountain, but it's their first time, versus the bloke that's never been to school, never been to college, but he's done that track and he's climbed it 100 times. Who are you picking? And that's the thing with me and people, is I will take advice and knowledge and value from those that have walked the path before me, over and above everyone else. So I think I've seen what you're doing anyway, which is brilliant. Like, I love it. I love the vibe. I love the tone. And underlyingly, it is valuable and important work that can genuinely make a difference. And that, I think, is former guest of the podcast, actually. He was a former professional boxer, Matt Sen. So a big shout out to Matt.
I know, Matt.
So his episode was out last week,
right?
And he said something that stuck with me. And he said that he lives by the philosophy of each one teach one, and that he believes that it's not going to be an overnight thing, but if each person can teach somebody else to be better and live better, that overall it's going to be a huge impact on society.
Sorry, Matt, but I'm gonna peel it, because I love going one deeper. Let's peel one more layer of onion back. Let's show. Let's not teach. Let's fucking show. That's my thing. I'm showing, I'm showing up. I'm showing up for myself. I'm showing up for people who are vulnerable. I'm showing up for people who aren't as lucky as me. I'm showing up for the less than. I'm showing up for those who are being discriminated against. I'm showing up for that. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of fucking hating everyone and, angry. And I'm not even going to get angry at the people who are hating on the people. I'm not going to do that, because then I'm no better. I'm not going to go eye for an eye on Instagram against people. I'm not doing that, because I am those people. It's us. No one's any different. I'm no different than every single person out there. I'm no different. I've just slightly let go of a bit more. That's it. I'm not awakened. I'm not special. I'm nothing of that. I've just let go of some bullshit. That is it. And I implore every single human being out there to just let go of more than they fucking learn. And just show. Don't teach, show.
Like it. It's a good place to pull things to a close, I think, James. I want to thank you, mate, because I've thoroughly enjoyed talking with you. It's everything I thought it would be. It's the conversation I thought that we'd have. I think you've dropped loads of value, loads of insights. I hope the people listening, watching.
If there's anyone watching now, I'd be surprised. That's like 6 hours of me waffling on. Fucking hell.
I said to you before pre-record, to me it's always about the one, not the many. And I always think that it could be anything that you've said today in this time could just sink deep with one person, and then it's been worth it. And it's the beauty about podcasts is this is now going to be out there forever. It's a media form that's going to sit there like a book on a shelf. And
still scares me a little bit.
I often believe, though, James, personally, I think the greatest impact we can have are by the seeds that we sow that we never see grow. The person that's going to hear something you've said that's never going to reach out to you. You're never going to know them, see them, but something that you've said might change the path of their life drastically. Which can then, it's the ripple effect, isn't it? Put them on a better path, and then they put other people on a better path, and outwards and outwards and outwards. And I think that's all we can do.
Yeah,
is just try to make those small differences, but not overthink it too much. So
thank you, mate. I just want to thank you because I know you're not very good at taking compliments, so I'm going to put some on you now. I think what you're doing is incredible. I think you're a really smart, and beautifully vulnerable in a good way man as well, and I see from your journey, and I'll find out more about your journey because obviously I know it's because I want to ask you loads of questions, but then we'd be here for like 6 hours.
We would.
So I just want to say thank you for you and your journey, and I appreciate what you're doing, man. It's not, and I'm not, it's not like I love a bit of a bromance, and I think that's good because I think what you're doing is incredible. So
I appreciate
well
that,
done,
mate.
man.
Thank you.
Really and thank you for having me on because it's. Yeah, I just appreciate you, man. Thank you.
An absolute pleasure, mate. I take a lot from these conversations. So again, selfishness.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, again, mate, massive thank you for your time. Thank you to everybody for listening and watching. Please do all that stuff that I hate repeating, but the like, share, follow, subscribe, because it really helps.
Yes, and definitely like, share, and follow, and get the word out there. I'm going to do it for you. You need to rinse me. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Get on it. Support. This is where talk is cheap. Action makes the difference. Share, subscribe. Put this out to your friends on site. Have conversations about it. Hold each other accountable about things. Let's do this because that's the only way things are going to change. So big up to Talking Tradesman.
Thank you, man.
You, not just the podcast, but it's you. So that's what the power is. So well done, man. Get the word out there.
James's details will all be in the episode description below. So wherever you're watching or listening, scroll down. There'll be links to James's socials. Go and give him a follow. Same thing. Show that support. Show some love. That's how things are going to change, hopefully, and spread the word as far as you can. If you've took something from this episode, pass that gift on to somebody else. And on that note, a massive thank you, and I'll catch you soon on the next one.